Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by HialeahParkCasino.com. Enjoy simulcast racing, dining, a magnificent poker room, and a casino with the most popular machines on the market. OKCoin.com. Download the app on iOS, Google Play, or Windows. OKCoin.com with over 50 different coins and incredible staking rewards. Pallet Rack City. There's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Wait. Well, they lost, right?
Meow, 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 meow.
That's more like it. I got confused there, Sean. There we go. We're meowing today. The Panthers are nothing but kittens. That's all they are, you know. Now, listen, folks, I just want you to know that today at the FLA Live Arena, they would like all of you out there in South Florida in their honor. Go by, drop off a ball of yarn, drop off some catnip, drop off maybe a little kitty litter, you know, these kind of products. So I think the Cats want to do something for cats in South Florida. So let's do something. Let's get together, right? And maybe there are cat owners struggling around the Tri-County area. And let's have the FLA Live Arena be the home for all things kitty. So if you guys happen to have some extra balls of yarn hanging around, maybe you want to go over to PetSmart and buy a little extra kitty litter, drop it all off over at the FLA Live Arena. They would like any kind of donation because they've got a lot of kitty cats that they've got to take care of throughout the off season. You know, they're hoping that they grow up and maybe they'll become cats one day. But for now, kittens also need love too. Okay, folks, you know, and so the Panthers are asking folks in South Florida to help them care for their kittens. So milk, catnip, yarn balls, kitty litter, you know, anything that you can spare. Go on by the FLA Live Arena today and drop it off. Okay? They've got Kitty Land there, right? I think Kitten Land now it's called, not Panther Land anymore. I think they're changing it to Kitten Land. So walk up to Kitten Land and drop off all the goods that you can for the Florida Panthers. I mean, they're going to have quite a mess in their hands now over the next couple of days. They're going to have a lot of kittens in the building, and, you know, they're going to need a lot of litter. They're going to need yarn balls to kind of keep them busy. You know what you guys should do, right? If you can find that battery snake, kittens love that. Because that way the Panthers can put the little snake, you know, battery snake on the floor, and all the little kitty cats can actually try and chase the mechanical snake all over the place. So that's another one also So all kitten things, please drop them off over at Kittenland at, of course, the FLA Live Arena. So don't drop off any more cats. They have more than enough kittens. They don't need any kittens, okay? They need things to take care of these kittens, all right? Just so you'll know. And wow, you guys are coming in already strong with the super chats. Man of 1,005 holds says the kitty cats were talented but not experienced or tough enough to challenge the Lightning. Well, they're kitty cats. Man of 1,005 holds, we are now learning kitty cats can't fight. Time to trade some badasses and sign a tough coach. Devin Jordan, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. He says, good morning, Big O. It felt like last night's game was a throwaway game for the Heat, like they were content with being tied 2-2. Exactly. I'm 1,000% with you. But I was just talking with a friend of mine off the air who was like, well, why did Bam and PJ play then? Which is true. And they must have convinced them, no, we could try to steal one here and go 3-1. And they must have done that. That's the only reason why I think they played, because it's not like they played with the kind of heart and desire, Bam Adebayo, to overcome that. But I'll get back to that in a minute. Let me do things in order here first and get back to the Panthers. And let's put this one to bed. And we'll have George Richards on at 1:00 to throw the dirt on the coffin for the Florida Panthers or the Florida Kittens. So maybe, you know what? I think we should call them kittens from now on until they actually do something in the playoffs. Then maybe we can go back to calling them cats or Panthers. I think that's the new thing on this show. I think they'll be the kittens from here on out. Until proven otherwise, they're kittens. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's really what they should be. They're the kittens. They can't play with the big boys. And look, I said it yesterday, okay? And I'll say it again. The Panthers are going to have to, one, get a new coach. Andrew Burnett is not the guy. God bless him. But he was there for cruise control throughout the regular season. He didn't make a damn bit of difference. That was already set in place when Q left. They needed a guy that maybe could kick some people in the ass here in the postseason, and he doesn't have the credentials. He's never been there and done it as a coach, so he can't tell him. Hey, he was an ex-player, but it's not the same thing. It's different when Coach Q comes at you, mother effing you, and telling you, hey, you're not doing this and that, and you're scared shitless because that's Coach Quenneville. And that guy's got the rings, and that guy's got the authority, and he's got the respect, and he's been there and done it. And those players would shut the hell up if Coach Q is ripping you an ass. You're like going to go, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you're going to go run through 8 walls for Coach Q. I don't think Brunette can do that. So it's not his fault. But again, you're not here to retrain people and all that. You're the kind of team that we're supposed to start making an impact in the playoffs. We're not here. There's no more development anymore. I'm sick and tired of development and the organization, and we're working everything out, and these youngins. And no. We've been waiting for this forever. And this is what we get after all these years of watching Huberdeau and Barkov and Ekblad grow up and get all these fat ass contracts that they've never earned. And because really, if you don't do anything in the playoffs, then who gives a shit, dude? I don't care what you keep doing in the regular season. Look, I tweeted this out last night, and with Bam being Bam again, passive Bam was back. So I told you guys some of you trolls came at me the other night when Bam was exploding in the first half, and I told you 1 half doesn't mean anything. And then he finished the game. I said, 1 game doesn't mean anything. I need to see a whole bunch of games in a row before I start to believe that Bam has crossed the threshold. This dude can't even do 2 games in a row. The day Bam goes out and kicks ass 3 straight games, I think I'll have a better shot at winning the lottery, actually. Seriously. And in fact, I'll win the lottery blindfolded by picking the numbers blindfolded. Okay? So here's what the Panthers and the Miami Heat organization have got to learn. Okay? And as great as they are, stop paying max to players that aren't max. Bam Adebayo is not a max player. Sasha Barkov is not a max player. And Jonathan Huberdeau is as soft as they come and isn't a max player. Max players, last time I checked, are men or women that in their respective sports, when they get to the highest point of the season, in the most important games of the season, they perform at the highest level. You're averaging 20 during the regular season, you're averaging 23, 26, 27 in the playoffs. You average 9 rebounds in the regular season, you're averaging 11, 12, 13 rebounds in the postseason. You average 1.5 to 2 blocks in the regular season, you're at 2.5 or 3 blocks in the postseason. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to watching people elevate their game in the highest point at the most important and critical times. Sasha Barkov, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Bam Adebayo are failures in that area. Yes, the Miami Heat failed in giving Bam Adebayo that contract. They read him wrong. He is a great role player. Role players can get on a roll. They can get hot. That's it. Studs impose their will, and they're good every night. And then they occasionally are incredible on other nights. But they're going to get theirs whether you like it or not. That's what a stud is. Bam Adebayo is not a stud. Jonathan Huberdeau and Sasha Barkov are not studs. And they've proven this over and over and over again. The Florida Panthers will have to trade Barkov and or Huberdeau. Probably Hubie's the one that's going to get traded. But I don't know. I'm not smart enough here because I don't follow hockey to that level. But Pat Riley has found the Shaqs and the Zoes and the Jimmy Butlers of the world. Well, guess what? That's exactly what the Panthers have to do. I don't know if it exists out there. I don't know if there's a absolute stud somewhere in the NHL right now that is unhappy and wants to leave, and this is a mother effer because that's what the Panthers need. They have no SOBs. They have no mother effers. They have no real franchise players. They have wannabes, okay? And that's our fault. That's the Panthers' fault. That's everybody's fault locally. We wouldn't know any better. We think Barkov and Huberdeau are there because that's all we have in our backyard and we see every night. But when push comes to shove, we see them get shoved. We know they're not the guy. So in my eyes, the Panthers organization, the ownership is exceptional, dude. Panthers have great owners. They inherited all of this, and they've made changes along the way. And they came to a realization finally that they had to fire Dale Talon. I was way before everybody else on the fire Dale Talon. And, of course, I'm way ahead of the curve than everybody else because I'm the one that's going to have the balls to say, you got to trade Huberdeau or Barkov to go get somebody else. But you got to get rid of one of these studs because you got to get rid of salary. And Barkov and Huberdeau have already proven it. They're not worthy of being the face of a franchise. So Matthews, McDavid, Sidney Crosby, you better find your own guy. You better find a mother effer. And if he's available, trade for him, do whatever you have to do. But you watched with Tampa. They've got 2 of those guys. Kucherov and Stamkos. You need to find yourself a Kucherov or a Stamkos because Barkov and Huberdeau will never, ever, 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 ever be those guys. Ever. Not in their dreams, nowhere. If they're not that already at this point, we're done already. We're done already. And anybody that tells you, well, Barkov and Hubie are still get the F out of here, bro. Either you're that or you're not. And they've proven it already for many years. They're not. So enough already. You got to move. Now, let me answer one more thing that I want to talk about with the Florida Panthers because it broke yesterday. We were talking about it. And this story about the strip club. Okay? Let me end this story right here, right now. Okay? Who cares? And have you seen Barkov and Huberdeau? They're a bunch of goobers. Those guys would be afraid of strippers. So those guys aren't at the strip club. I don't know. Maybe Giroux was at the strip club. Maybe Gudas was at the strip club. I can see those kind of guys. I got no problem with that. Dude, you had a 7 p.m. game, if that's whatever, man. Who cares? You have plenty of time to recover. But in the end, can anybody see Sasha Barkov at a strip club? Can you see that goober at a strip club? All shucks, golly gee whiz. Are you kidding me? Remember what you're talking about and who you're talking about. Those guys, I wish they had the balls to go to a strip club. I wish they had an edge to go gambling and then go out and play like a son of a bitch, because only sons of bitches can do that. Only Michael Jordan can go out and gamble till 2 a.m. and then cut your effing heart out because he's a son of a bitch. So if anybody actually went to the strip club, it might have been some of your tougher players that you have on that team. It ain't going to be a goober like Barkov. You idiots, you morons, you fools. Think for yourselves, man. Use some common sense. Give me a break, dude. These Panthers have no mean streak in them, dude. Maybe it's a couple of those defensemen. But what we're talking about, the upper echelon offensive players, shit. Get out of here, dude. Those guys wouldn't have an edge if you filed it on them. Yeah, exactly. Jason, exactly. They probably need to get laid. Yeah. Barkov probably needs 10 trips through strip clubs. Man the F up. Barkov in a strip club. That's freaking a joke. Man, give me a break. Look what you're talking about. Oh, they were in strip clubs. Oh, it's such a big story. Dude, it's Barkov and Huberdeau. Those guys were at a Boy Scout meeting, probably. They were probably getting their Eagle badge on their day off in between games. They were probably learning how to start a fire with sticks. Barkov and Huberdeau. Those guys were playing Go Fish in their hotel room. Barkov and Huberdeau. Are you kidding me? Barkov and Huberdeau were fishing in the hotel pond. That's what they call excitement. Excitement for Barkov and Huberdeau is room service. Holy shit, I'm going to have a sundae tonight. That's how they live on the edge. Hubie had a 7-Up before the game. He's living on the edge. Two guys that have no edge, you expect them to be at a strip club. Holy shit, boy, you guys don't know how to read people. That's the first thing I thought of when I'm hearing that story. I'm going, it's the Panthers. What are you talking about, dude? That bunch is harmless. They're kittens. They just want their catnip, bro. They don't do anything. They don't harm anybody. Strip club. My God, that would be progress if it was true. Somebody actually needs to take Barkov and Huberdeau and Ekblad through a bunch of strip clubs. You know, if you tell me that Jaromir Jagr was at a strip club, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Why? That's a son of a bitch. That's the guy that goes out to the strip club, goes home, sleeps with 3 strippers, then gets up in the morning, and in the morning skate, he's telling all the fellas about what he did with his hockey stick last night. And then he's putting 2 goals, 2 assists, and the game winner at the end of the night. Because that's Jaromir Jagr, bitch. Barkov and Huberdeau? Brother, if they went to Burns Steakhouse and took the tour of the kitchen, that's living for them. What'd you do last night? Well, I went to Burns. Yeah, we got the tour of the kitchen and the wine cellar. Yeah, that was impressive. Boy, Barkov, Hubie, you guys are living it up. Yeah, we partied last night. Had that escargot. Come on, man. I mean, Barkov and Huberdeau, strip club. Can you be any more of a joke? Seriously. So let's go. Stop already with that. Huberdeau and Barkov ride tricycles to get to the Kitty Cat Arena and strip club, not choppers. Exactly. Oh, you don't have to be wow in order to be tough. Oh, guys get small breaks. Your face, no problem. Stevenson, my brother, the bottom line is there's no toughness with those guys. That's my point. If you didn't understand my point is there's no edge with Barkov and Hubie. Zero. Nothing. Nada. Nay. Those aren't the guys that are definitely going to be at a strip club. And those certainly aren't the guys that should be the face of your franchise. So that's really the end story. Louis M. says, the best part about this is we don't have to hear any more about dreadful hockey talk after this. Well, we'll still have our hockey reports, but they are dreadful. I mean, this is the other part about this story with the Panthers now. This is disastrous for the franchise. They can't build on this. That's the worst part about it. You lost the entire public already. It's like the way you look at the Panthers is they had a great regular season. They got lucky to get through the Caps because of Verhaeghe. And they completely crapped the bed against the Lightning, and they're complete frauds. And that's what the Panther organization is now. Because of Barkov and Huberdeau, you're now labeled as frauds. So it doesn't matter what the Panthers do next year. Nobody will get on the bandwagon. Nobody will believe them. Do you know when they'll believe them? The day they ever make a real run deep into the playoffs. Then when they're in the middle of that run, if it ever happens, that's when people will start to get on the bandwagon. The Panthers did a marvelous job of ruining any kind of confidence or relationship with the fans for the future. Because you were the best team in the NHL and you completely embarrassed yourself in the playoffs. So they're just going to, you did it a couple of years ago when you had the 103 points or whatever. You were complete frauds. It was only a 12-game streak that really catapulted them to that season. And they were frauds in the playoffs, and now they were frauds again. And so that's the worst part for the Panthers. The selling job for the Panthers from here on out becomes that much tougher. It's going to be harder than ever now for the Panthers to sell their hockey team to people. They will never believe them ever again. And that's the reality. Whether they want to believe that or not, I don't care. I know this town. I know how it goes. They weren't believing you as it is. And I'm one of the guys that I sell you the hockey opium as much as possible. Can't sell it anymore, bro. Can't sell it anymore. There's no more benefit of the doubt for Huberdeau and Barkov and Ekblad and this whole group. There's no more. It's over already. We're done. We're done. This group has been given more than enough. We've heard the name Barkov, Huberdeau, and Ekblad for so long. It is embarrassing that we've heard it this long and they've made no impact whatsoever. And remember what I've talked about from the get-go. This was a legacy moment for those guys. They shit the bed. Their legacy is garbage from here on out. Nobody will ever trust Barkov, Huberdeau, and Ekblad ever again. And everybody will look at those guys like what they are, frauds. Because that's what the Panthers are. They're frauds. And that's what they have to live with now. And that ownership group does not deserve that. Bill Zito, man, he did it, but he's going to have to fix this now. He's going to have to tweak again something that clearly Dale Talon put together a soft-ass team. And this guy's going to have to turn it over all the way up to their superstars. So when they tell you that Dale Talon at least drafted Barkov, Huberdeau, and Ekblad, it's taken less shine off of that, right? Because they always tell you that, right? Well, they had to fire, but hey, at least he got Barkov, Huberdeau, and Ekblad. And so what? Is that Patrick Kane? I'm sorry. I must have missed that. I must have missed that. Is it the same guys he had like in Chicago? No. Okay. So that's going to be the worst part for the Florida Panthers now. You cannot sell hockey in this town anymore until you actually get real players that make an impact in the playoffs. Now nobody will believe you in the regular season anymore. It's a shame. You better change the faces because that's the only way people will believe that it's a different story. But if it's the same Barkov and Huberdeau you bring back and you're in the middle of a playoff race next year, people are going to go, ho, hum. We know what those guys are. So those players have nothing to blame but themselves. I don't know how they're going to have to live with themselves throughout the offseason, but you're going to have to deal with it. That's for damn sure. The measuring stick between Tampa and Florida turned into miles. Yeah, light years. Regular season success does not translate to playoff. Yes, we know that. Huberdeau's contract is up, so he can't be traded. Well, you better find a way to trade his ass. That's all I'm telling you. You better find a way to trade his ass and dump him. By the way, Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises is a proud sponsor of our program. And folks, right now we got some issues going on in Florida. Insurance. If your insurance is up and your house is a little older and you're trying to get that insurance done, you need to fix your roof, you need to upgrade it. Well, you got to call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises right now, folks. 954-735-9826. And do it right now, man, as soon as possible. They have been at this for over 25 years here in South Florida. They've got a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau. They're licensed and insured please don't have people come work at your house that are not licensed and insured. You could end up in a lawsuit, okay? Highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics, and they specialize in all types of roofs. And right now we're headed into hurricane season. Some of you have to redo your insurance. Some of you have older homes out there. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises, folks. If you need to fix, if you need to maybe upgrade your roof, call them right now, 954-735-9826. And I know some of you have been calling First Business or personal, whether it's your home or your business. You call and you get your roof done with Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises. I'm going to do a show at your home. So call them, 954-735-9826. Don't let those Florida insurance companies dump you. Avoid all of that. Fix your issues with your roof now. 954-735-9826 for Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. Great sponsors and great family man. The entire family, all 5 of his boys listen to the show. So they've been at this for a long time, man. Make sure you give them a ring. Trade Bobrovsky. Yeah, I don't think you can trade that contract, my brother. It sounds great in theory, but that's one you're not going to be able to trade, I doubt. Very much. The goalie that they have is the young guy behind in Knight. It's about Hubie or Barkov. And I think Hubie's the one you move. That's what I would do. But that's just me. Panthers are the Buffalo Bills of the early 90s. Dizzy, dude, don't insult those Bills. Please don't insult those Bills. Please don't insult those Bills. They got to 4 Super Bowls. And they only lost one of them because Scott Norwide missed it. They should have won one of the 4. The Panthers are nowhere near the Bills, my brother. Jim Kelly alone has bigger balls than the entire Panther organization. Understand that. And Bruce Smith by himself is better than all of the players in the history of the franchise combined. Listen to me. Bruce Smith is better than all of the players of the Florida Panthers history combined. Let's get that straight. Don't, dude, please. That's a shit comparison. All right? The Bills were a bad-ass team. The Panthers are complete wussies. They lost, but they lost to some awesome teams too, because those Cowboy teams weren't a joke. And one of them was just a damn field goal. Please, dude, it's not even close. That's a real insult to those Bills teams. And far be it from me to defend anything in the AFC East that's not the Dolphins. But I'm always going to be objective about this. Never, ever use the Florida Panthers and the Buffalo Bills of the 90s in the same sentence. Ever. Ever. Not even close. No, it's not a matter that they choked, bro. The Panthers aren't even good enough to get to the point to choke in the Stanley Cup, my brother. They can't even get there. And you're not listening to me. They only lost one of them because of the kicker. They won that game. So, again, it's a terrible take the L, my brother. Don't be Omar Kelly. Take the L. We're all wrong sometimes. We all make bad Put it this way, Dizzy. Here you go. Anybody on the chat board right now, there's 245 people right now on the chat board. Does anybody agree with Dizzy that the comparison of the Bills 90s to these Panthers? Anybody? I want to see, because I gotta think that everybody's gonna say no, not even close. I don't think anybody's that high at this moment to actually compare those Bills teams to these Panthers. These Panthers wish they were those Bills teams. They wish they had just Andre Reed on this team. They wish they had Thurman Thomas on this team. They wish they had Jim Kelly on this team. They wish they had Darryl Talley on this team. They wish they had what's it called? I just was talking about the damn defensive end on the team. Bruce Smith. They wish, because then you would actually have a horse, a stud, a franchise player, something that the Panthers don't have one of them. Jonathan Huberdeau, in his dreams, couldn't be Darryl Talley. In his dreams, couldn't be Darryl Talley. In his dreams, his BBs never dropped like Thurman Thomas. Ever. Please, don't compare any player on this sorry-ass, weak-minded Panthers team to those Bills teams. Yeah, Josh is saying, what the hell is he smoking? Yeah. As much as I hate the Bills, it's insulting to Buffalo to make that comparison. It is. It's ridiculous. That team's loaded with Hall of Famers. The Panthers, all they have are Hall of Shamers. That's all they have. Barkov and Huberdeau, brother, they don't even come close to half the players on that Bills team. Cojones. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little football. Cameron Wolf is ready with our KSDT, Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
By the way, Leon Fresco may have the text of the day on the chat board. He says the Panthers need to hire a Lenny Locksmith to unlock their balls. That sounds about right there. Cam, good morning. We just had a listener who must be incredibly high to compare the Panthers to the early 90s Bills. I was like, how high are you? You know what I mean? I get it. They choked 4 times in the Super Bowl, but that was an awesome team, dude. I mean, that was a freaking awesome. I can't call the Panthers an awesome team. You can't even get to the Stanley Cup Finals one time, and you get swept in the second round. Zero comparisons to that Bills. That Bills team doesn't get enough respect, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to, they made it to the championship game. You got to get there for you to get that type of credence. So I'm curious your thoughts, because obviously you do all the South Florida sports fans, the scene here. And so disappointing day, obviously, with the Panthers and the Heat. But if you had a choice of which one fan base you feel, or which team in South Florida sports you feel best about the direction they're going, what would you say?
Always the Heat. They're always fine, bro. They're always fine. It's 25 years, man.
So you still, even after last night,
because it's 2-2. It's 2-2. You have 3 games. It's a 3-game set that you keep blowing each other out in each game. This is a franchise that's won 3 titles, has been to the finals 6 times, has been to the Eastern Conference Finals I don't know how many times. In Riley's last 25 years, they've been to the playoffs like 21 times. You got to go macro, not micro, when you look at the Heat. And overall, you're a spoiled-ass fan base if you're the Miami Heat, because your team always has a chance, always has a hope. You know what I mean? So with Riley, they have earned that they have a great coach in Spo. They have a great front office, and they constantly bring in players with character that are there to lay it on the line all the time. There's only one way, and they're the only team that has developed what we call a culture, what we call a tradition. And so I love the direction that the Dolphins are going in now, for sure. I like some of the young guys with the Marlins if they actually would spend some money, you know what I mean? But there's nobody like the Heat right now in this town. You know what I'm saying? It's just the track record's there, man. It's a quarter century, bro.
Yeah, you're right. there's something about the proof. Like obviously looking forward, you look at things in different elements, but the Heat have just consistently done a year in and year out. So they're the team that you can trust in the South Florida scene. You may have hope about the Dolphins, but look, you can't trust the Dolphins yet. And you certainly can't trust the Marlins. And the Panthers showed you that you can't trust them.
Yeah, no, they're fraud. Total fraud.
The only team that you can trust to be good at year in and year out.
Yep. No, I'm with you there. I got a story that I'm going to talk about later, but now that I have you on, I'm glad that we can talk a little bit about this. And so, last couple of years, I can't say you built an offense for Tua, right? And now I can say you're building an offense for Tua, right? And you're understanding what you have. So now you've got to build around him so you could give him an opportunity to succeed. Well, here I am. I'm going through, my preparation of the show, and I'm looking at one of the headlines at Pro Football Talk, and it says the Broncos are building an offense completely around Russell Wilson. And I'm going, wow, what a concept.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Because, okay, let's play the other side. The good thing about being old like I am,
right?
It's not that my body's falling apart or anything like that kind of stuff. Okay. That's the negative shit that goes on. But the good thing is it's called perspective. Okay. And I can play this game better than most people. Why? Because I've been covering the Dolphins for 32 years. In comes Jimmy Johnson. So what does he do? Oh, I got Dan Marino. Great. Hey, Dan, I'm trading away Irving Fryer. Hey, Dan, I'm cutting Terry Kirby. Hey, Dan, I'm letting go of Keith Byers. Hey, Dan, you no longer have an audible system. Now you have a check with me system. And for those of you out there that play football 101, when you can audible, you got the entire playbook. You can check out of anything and into anything, from one running play to another running play, from one passing play to another passing play. A check with me is the call comes in and it's this pass play. If you don't like this pass play, you can go to this run play that goes off of this pass play, and that's it. Either or. So you're going to give one of the most dynamic passers in the history of the game. You're going to pare down his offense. And guess what happens? Of course. So we see the same crap now. And now I look at what Mike McDaniel is doing. And I'm just saying, you look at the history of this game. If you want to go against your quarterback and you don't want to cater to your quarterback, well, then you are just burying yourself like Jimmy Johnson did, like Brian Flores did. But Mike McDaniel, and apparently, oh, God, I'm forgetting his funky name, the guy from Green Bay that went over there now in Denver.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Is it Hackett? I thought it was the other guy that had the funky name. All right, so Hackett. So now Hackett's not a tough name. What was the other guy that got a funky name? Where did he go? Some other guy that had.
Yeah, Nathaniel Hackett is the Broncos' new head coach.
What was the other? There was another guy that got a job that had a funky name. I forgot. Well, anyways, so Hackett obviously and company are doing the right thing. They got Russell Wilson, and part of the article is that in Seattle they didn't really do that. Right. Carroll wanted his power running game, this and that. A running game, which, by the way, did not exist like 60% of the time that Pete Carroll wanted that power running game. Once Marshawn Lynch was gone,
right?
I don't think he had a consistent running game ever again. Actually, it was guys that would, Carson one week, Penny another, whatever. It was just a hodgepodge of a whole bunch of other guys. And so, what a concept! And I saw that article and I said, this is what's gone on throughout the history of time. And you've got to understand what's in front of you. And whether you're Jimmy Johnson or you're Brian Flores, you just can't do that. You will bury yourself. So I like what McDaniel's doing.
It's interesting you mentioned the Russ thing, because if you remember, there was a whole campaign, and I was a part of this campaign the last few years of letting Russ cook. So much of that run-heavy offense seemed like they were hitting their head against a wall when they have an elite quarterback. Now, there are teams
and you're not dominant, anymore. Exactly. When you have Marshawn Lynch and you're punching people in the mouth, I get it, dude.
Right. And so you mentioned the article and the idea of team building around their quarterback. And some people might roll their eyes and say, of course you do. But there are a lot of teams who do not, right? And so you will go to.
I just told you, Jimmy Johnson, what he did to Dan Marino, bro.
Exactly, and we can even go talk about your favorite quarterback down there in Tennessee. The Titans' offense is built around Derrick Henry.
They built around him.
If Mike Vrabel ever one day said this offense is built around Ryan Tannehill, call him a liar, because he knows that offense is built around Derrick Henry. And so there's I'd probably say, there's at least a third of the NFL whose offense is not built strictly around their quarterback. And so I think when you're building your offense around the quarterback,
but if you have an understanding of who he is,
right,
aka Lamar Jackson,
exactly,
don't make him do what he can't do.
Right.
Make him do what he does, and the Ravens do that. And to their credit, that's genius. Just like Tennessee, they're not making Ryan Tannehill go out there and throw 50 times because they know he can't. So they've got to build it around the monster, because the monster is the monster.
Right.
That's the best way we're going to win. It's an understanding of who you have and how to build it. And that's what I like, that at least you understand what the hell you have so you can build it right.
And it's the modern era of coaching where you have to do that. And it's interesting because you'll hear coaches say it, but they don't believe it. I've heard coaches tell me all the time, oh, well, we do what's best with our player strengths. And then at the same time, they'll tell you that this guy isn't a scheme fit. And it's like, how is this guy not a scheme fit if you're playing to your player's strengths? If you're playing to your player's strengths and he's a good enough player, then you should be able to make him work in a scheme and not vice versa. And so I think that you're seeing the modern good coaches really adjust and say, hey, I don't care if I have a Lamar Jackson and I'm a pocket passer type coach. I'm going to adjust my coaching style to do what my quarterback does best. And so you do that for Tua. Don't get obsessed with everything that he can't do. Focus on what he can do and maximize that. And I think that's what you hope, and what the early conversation I've heard about Mike McDaniel is going to be. He's watched a lot of his tape. He's seen what he really is good at. He's going to maximize that, try to get the stuff that he may not be excellent in better, but you're going to get a coach who really is focused on making Tua look great rather than complain about what he can and can't do. And I think that helps you. And to be honest, like, I've talked to players, and I think some of them feel like it's overblown, all the talk about Tua and what he can't do. They're like, man, a lot of the things that people say he can't do, we see him do regularly in practice. So I'm not sure. I think that a part of it's the O-line, like we've talked about. A part of it what you're asked to do.
Play calling and
all of that.
And play design, bro. Play design is so important, man. In setting things up from one series to another, from one quarter to another. There's an intelligence that's required for that. And that puts your offensive players at a major advantage if you understand what the defense is doing constantly and how they're adjusting and where they're lacking in their adjustments, so you can, attack it. And I think that's what we got now. I think we have one of those cerebral dudes that is going to look at every aspect of the offense and going to try to find a way to give his running game or his passing game some kind of an advantage. So
now I will say about Mike McDaniel.
And by the way, it's Eberflus. They nailed it on the chat board.
Chicago Bears.
He went to the Bears. There you go. That's
Chicago Bears head coach. Yeah, former Colts defensive coordinator went to the Chicago Bears. He's with Justin Fields, so he has a young quarterback too that they have to figure out what they're going to do out there.
I like that kid's moxie. So I don't know if he'll turn into a quarterback, but I like his moxie.
Yeah.
So I think he's a kid that, there's a chance for him, man.
Yep.
I really believe that.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I think there was so much talk about him in pre-draft and people throwing stuff on him. I want to see.
I thought it was a bunch of crap too.
Yeah, I want to see him succeed, and I think he's one of those guys. You get him right system. They brought in the Packers former quarterback coach to be his OC. And so you got things running with him, and hopefully they can magnify things with him, because that's another team where if you get that quarterback right, that market is going to go on fire. Kind of like the Dolphins market. That's a historic market.
They've been waiting for one for 100 years,
exactly.
bro.
That's like,
Jim McMahon, bro.
Exactly.
Jim McMahon was the last badass quarterback that they had.
And that's why, like, obviously the Dolphins have had one more modern than that. But I kind of see some similarities, because every time you talk to Bears fans, and my dad's a big Bears fan, he will always tell you about the heyday. He'll tell you about the 85 Bears and how we were this and how we were that. And I'm like, dog, I was not born. I know. I'm sure these teams were great. I watched the Super Bowl shuffle.
They were awesome, bro.
My family had all the Super Bowl shuffle and all that on videotape, so I've seen it all. That being said, it's 2022. It's time to and so I look at both of these teams, like the Dolphins and the Bears, and there's a few other teams where you've got top 10 markets and fan bases of historical significance. And so if these teams get good and stay good, then they're gonna have all the national media buzzing. We're gonna be talking about these teams every day on a daily basis. And so I want to see it in Miami so I can stay here. Also want to see it in Chicago because I think it's good for the league. So a lot of it's depending on how these coaching staffs, magnify their quarterbacks, their young quarterbacks.
Yep, I'm with you there. All right, any news? Because it's seems kind of quiet on the Dolphin front. I don't hear good. There's no bad news, but I'm saying any good news out there? Any signings? Any rumblings? Anything? I don't hear a damn thing, dude.
The good news is my golf game is getting better. I have been playing golf this off season, and it's been getting better. Man, it's the quiet part of the season, to be frank. There's not much going on.
Tua giving you tips?
Huh?
Tua giving you tips?
We never talked about that, but to be frank, I have never played golf with Tua, so I don't know where that came from.
Well, I'm just asking because he's a golfer and you're golfing, so I figured, hey, have you gotten any tips from Tua?
No, I haven't. I know he does golf, and I golf as well, but I do not golf on game days. And no, Tua, call me up if you want to play around, but we have not played around together. So, but no, doing that, I'm actually going to Dolphins OTAs later today because they're having that open for the media. So I will let you guys know if there's anything of significance. But I'm sure it'll just be, seeing a little bit more of Tua, Waddle, Hill, and some of these new players out there. I'm always looking for something different. So I'm going to see on the defensive side of the ball today and see if there's anything that stands out to me different, because I am eager to see how much Josh Boyer changes. So it's early on, but that's one element that's intriguing to me. But we're really getting towards the end of this sort of off-season phase. They're going to be done the second week of June is when they finish up. So they've really got 2 more weeks. And
your break's finally coming, bro.
It's coming. Coming. Trust me, I am counting down. They are counting down. I've talked to players, and they already have plans for also. We're almost there. We're going to have like a mandatory mini camp next week, June 1st and 2nd, and that'll be the closest we see to a full roster and some actual football in a while. But the reality is there's not a lot to glean as far as news or evaluation at this point. It's just seeing a little football.
Did you see that interview that Gesicki did with this guy, Brenneman or something like that, and his praise for Tua and all that good stuff?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right. You I'll send you the link, and then we can talk about it later on in the week. All right. That's what we'll do. What are you working on the NFL Network so people can check you out?
Well, I'm trying to talk to all my bosses. All my bosses are on vacation, probably playing golf myself. So I hit all my bosses up to see what they want of me, and nobody's responded yet. So as of now, I have no assignments, but I'm sure they'll ask me to do some sort of tape TV gig for the night show. We don't have an afternoon show. They're on hiatus right now. So it would just be our morning show or our night show. So I'll probably tape something off of OTAs for that. And then, I'll do a couple more weeks of Dolphins, and then it's vacation time. So I have.
By the way, who's going to replace the young lady in the morning?
So they're working on that still. They're working on that. So she's going to do some things. She's not going far away from the NFL. She's going to another network, but they're still recruiting the replacements, man. So we'll see.
That was an emotional goodbye there, bro. She apparently is no like in that building. Apparently, now it's not her look for all that. Apparently, Kay is actually apparently a good person, because that you could tell that she affected people there. So that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Right. I don't know if you noticed it. You noticed the same thing. You did, right?
Yeah. I know Kay pretty well. So yeah, she's a big staple on there. And so there's obviously a lot of emotion. There's people around the league who watch the show because of her too. So there's definitely people
she's bummed. A looker. Of course, she's a looker.
There was definitely people bummed overall.
I'm Latin, so I like the other girl, the Hispanic one that's got a lot of curves. What's her name? Oh man, what's her name, bro? Oh, I just saw her in that SI bikini show with she was with Joy out there. What's her name, bro?
Yeah, that's MJ. MJ.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
She's cool. She's got a
Yeah,
great
she's really
personality.
she's good at her job. She's
And
actually
a looker also in her own way.
She's a former Miami Dolphin cheerleader. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
But yeah, she used to work out here too as well. So yeah.
She's got a great personality. She's like
she does. She's good
super
people.
cool. So she has a great vibe. I wouldn't be surprised if she's doing that morning gig.
So
Not
she
that
has her own show at night
I
if
know.
she's out of LA. But who knows?
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, wake up in the morning from LA. Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. 4 a.m. calls. I don't know if anybody can be super happy waking up 4 a.m. for being on TV at 4 a.m. You're probably waking up at 2 a.m. 1:32 a.m. to get ready for that.
Especially a woman who's always got it. They always do way more work than we do.
Right.
Holy moly. Yeah, man. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf and catch his work there at the NFL Network. Cam, as always, appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. See you guys.
You got it. That is the Wolf Pack.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All righty. Great people there at KSDT. Lenny Locksmith. By the way, we are going to have our lockdown segment coming up at 1:00 with George Richards, and we love Lenny Locksmith. Make sure you call him right there. If we've got locations all throughout South Florida. Yeah, even you Lightning fans, we can take care of you in Tampa and in Orlando because we've got locations in Tampa and Orlando, and now also in Phoenix, Arizona. Other locations are coming across the country. We will tell you about it. But call them, 561-284-5090, 24-hour locksmith, house and car locks, residential, commercial locksmith. Even if your car keys need reprogramming, they do that too at alennylocksmith.com. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. Guaranteed. T.A. Finzup says, so Cameron Wolf didn't golf with Tua before the Ravens game. No, he did not. Apparently not. The Dolphins should model themselves on the Parcells Giants from 83 to 92, run heavy and ball control. Yeah. By the way, that is Parcells coached them, but somebody else was picking the talent. Okay. Dude that had actually some Dolphin ties down the line. Let's see. Claude Giroux was a terrible trade. He had no chemistry with Barkov and is a pass-first guy, which we have plenty of. Man, I am not going to go that far. I'm going to kill first Barkov and Huberdeau. Those guys are the ones that are unacceptable. You're the leaders of this team, and you didn't show up at all. So, Chad says, lead singer of my band, his dad played a round of golf with Tua a couple months ago. Sent me some pictures, says he was really cool, wouldn't drink with him, but other than that, LOL. Well, I mean, that's Tua. Tua's not probably going to be a drinker. That's what I'm telling. Like, Dolphins were at a strip club. Do you think it's going to be Tua? Panthers are at a strip club. Barkov, Hubie, please, dude. Please. Let's see. Tua can't ever go golfing or he's not focused on football. Shaking my head. Irving Figueroa. Landfound sounds like you're obsessed with Dolphin fans. What? What's the Landfound thing? Dolphin fans are a cult in Miami. Mm-hmm. It's called the fan base, bro. And Landfound says, I understand the NFL is king, but you can get by without talking about the bum Dolphins so much. Landfound, does he know a rule on this show? You're now on thin ice. Okay? You've now been warned. All right, brother, I've been doing this for 32 years. We're pacing for 26 million downloads this year. I don't need your help, man. Don't program the show. Don't tell me what to do. You won't be around very long. Okay? Don't need your help at all. I need your support. I don't need you to be a program director. I don't even listen to program directors when I was in radio because they don't know what the hell they're doing, and neither do you. Okay? Go look at the downloads. Go look at the numbers when it comes to the Dolphins. When you don't know what the hell you're talking about, don't tell someone that is in their own business what to do. So Landfound, don't walk into a law office and tell them how to run their law office because you don't know shit about law and you don't know shit about doing a sports talk show in South Florida to the world. All right? So appreciate your support. Appreciate you listening. Okay? Opine about sports. Don't opine on how to do this show because you're not going to do it better ever. Got it? Good. You've been warned. Some people still have that issue, you know? They like, you know, I've never done your job, but I can do your job. No, you can't. You know? I don't know shit about your business, but I'll talk about your business. No, don't. Yeah, Bills fans are a cult, dude. Yeah, they're called a great fan base. You see how they donated a lot of money to the shooting that happened but hey, let me tell you something. Bills fans are a bunch of nutbags. They're crazy, they're diving on tables and all that. But all craziness aside, Bills fans actually do a lot of good stuff. They donate to a lot of good causes. So give those crazy bastards some credit that they actually do some good with all their craziness and their passion for their team and everything. Every time there's some kind of a tragedy or something, that fan base gets together and donates money to that cause, and a boatload of money goes to that cause. So give those human beings some credit about doing some of that too. Get what I'm saying? So the vanguards of manhood I was talking about, you were assuming that McDaniel is only focused on making Tua look great rather than improving the overall success of the team. I issue rebuttals towards. Aha. Big O, love your show. I watch reruns because of work and download every day. Fins up, Heat Culture. Thank you, Herman. Appreciate you. Good one says, you see Chris Sims ranking Tua. Whatever, bro. It's Chris Sims, man. You know, again, if you're watching Chris Sims, it's up to you, man. You know what I'm saying? I watched that guy and, you know, it's whatever, bro. It's glad you're carrying that name and you played a little football and, you know, they gave you a job, but I've heard enough of it not to listen to it anymore. But, you know, that's up to you if you want to listen to Chris Sims and pay attention to it, you know. The NFL Scouting Combine is coming back to Indy next year. I'm living here now. Would love to have you come up and broadcast from here. Not trying to be a PD. No, Adam, we will be there. We will be there. I guarantee you next year we'll be at the Combine for the week. And we will be broadcasting live from the WIBC studios in the Circle, like we have for 20 years. I have an amazing relationship with the people there in Indy. We will be back. We have our own studios there. We'll be fine. Sean is going to love it because he doesn't really have to build a studio probably every single day. So it'll be something that I think we'll be able to do straight up there. Maybe, because, you know, we're a little different than a radio station now, but we might be able to go there to the radio studios and do what we want to do. So I will talk to them and we'll see, but we might be able to do it. But I guarantee you, Adam, we'll be in Indy for sure. Next year, Sean and I, Money in the Bank, we're in Indy. Next year, we're back to traveling and everything. You know, we're super blessed. We're adding sponsors all the time now. We've added now a national agency, so we're adding national spots now also to the show because the traffic has been amazing. Of course, if I listen to what was it, The Landlord or whatever that guy's name is, but anyway, so we are blessed and we're growing, and oh, by the way, speaking of growing, I need a favor from all of you out there, a big time favor. Okay, Sean and I need a big time favor. We have created a second YouTube page, and it's called Big O Radio Show Cuts. Okay. You can put Big O Radio Show as one word and then separate cuts, and it'll come up. If you can, please subscribe to Big O Radio Show Cuts. Why? Well, it's a second channel we're creating because we're going to put more content on there. We can't put all the content on the original page because of algorithm purposes and all that. So we're going to be experimenting, putting all kinds of different cuts and other press conferences and some rants and things like that. So there are things that you won't see on the regular, this page here that you're on now, but you'll see it on cuts. And we really need to get it to 1,000 as soon as possible so we can have live broadcasts from it too. Okay, so that's really important. So if you can, please, okay, go to Big O Radio Show Cuts and subscribe if you can, por favor. We need to get to 1,000 as soon as possible. So Big O Radio Show Cuts. Don't forget, Alarmo and the great people at Slomin's, a proud sponsor of our program. Protect your home, protect your family. Call them 1-800-ALARM-ME, and you're going to get that free doorbell camera, the first 40 Big O listeners right now. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tell them that you're listening to the Big O Show and that you want your free doorbell camera, which connects directly to your smartphone. And when you use our central station monitoring system, low-cost central station monitoring system, we're going to give you an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. That's what it's all about, folks. That's why we tell you all the time, check it out. Slomin's, it is the best. They've been protecting Americans for 100 years. They've been at this for a while. We're in 14 different states. I know we originate from South Florida, so it's not just Florida. We're in 13 other states. So please call them 1-800-ALARM-ME. They could be right in your town, in your home, and they could be protecting your family, your business, or your pets like we do. We love it, man. Got cameras all over the house, got cameras inside, so I can look at my doggies when we're not at home, because I got 2 big dogs that, they kind of get in trouble every once in a while. So you gotta check in on them and tell them, yo, what's up? Calm down. They look at the camera. Okay, I got to calm down. I hear his voice. Anyway, so 1-800-ALARM-ME. Get your free doorbell camera. Tell them that the Big O Show sent you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 2 is next.
What?
Oh, look.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane, Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A-plus rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified whitening contractor.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill. Good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
By the way, on our new Big O Radio Show Cuts channel, we posted the video of the ESPN deal. So, you know, we got somebody to walk that ESPN hallway. Not going to tell you who it is. And hit that button so you can hear the fight song and all that good stuff. So you can check that out. Where is that at? On our Big O Radio Show Cuts channel there on YouTube. I did put the link there, but I guess the link doesn't become a link, I guess. It's just like text. So I don't know if you can copy and paste and that takes you to it. But if you can, please subscribe. There's 300 people right now. You know, we want to get to 1,000. Imagine if 300 people walk over to that thing, that's a load of people subscribing quickly to it. And we really appreciate it. Plus, you're going to end up finding stuff there eventually. And that will end up being part of what we're doing and growing. So it's going to give us a second live camera too. So we're going to be able to cover more sporting events because down the line, We will have more people joining this channel, and maybe we have to cover multiple events at times and things. So there's a method behind the madness. That's why we ask you. So if you can, please subscribe to our Big O Radio Show Cuts channel. All you got to do to find it on the search engine, put Big O Radio Show, all one word, and then separate, put Cuts, and it'll come up, and you'll be able to find it right away. Okay? Thank you there. Nyborg says just subscribe to the Cuts channel. Says the Blue Chew segment. That's right. You can subscribe there and get your free Blue Chew, by the way. We told you about it yesterday. You guys want to you can get a free 1 month supply of Blue Chew. All you got to do is use my code Big O, and all you do is pay $5 shipping. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. All right. And the beauty is you do it all online. You meet with somebody online, you get it all approved, and it's sent to you right away. You're going to love it, but you got to use my code Big O so you can get your free 1 month supply. The only thing you're going to pay is $5 shipping. That's it. So you get a little help in the bedroom there. So Blue Chew, baby, right there. Free 1 month supply. We are giving it away to you. A free 1 month supply of Blue Chew. So check it out. Greater Good says founded by searching Big O Cuts. Oh, really? It comes up as Big O Cuts? Well, let me see if that works for me too. That's pretty cool. If that's the truth. Because, man, it was a bitch. I was telling Sean, yo, man, it's not coming up though, because I was separating it. Big O. Did you say show cuts or just cuts? Let me see. Big O show cuts. Yeah. It comes up. Big O show cuts. Very good. Thank you. That is very cool. Okay. So there you go. Check it out. All right. Big O show cuts. When is Ian returning? Rappaport? It's every Wednesday, my brother, 10:10. Every Wednesday. It's all, usually everything is in a set time. Today we're going to have issues, by the way, with Omar Kelly, because Omar's time is right in the middle of the players. I don't know if we're going to try. We're going to wait. I don't think, there's a chance we don't get Omar today, but we'll get him tomorrow. But if he can join us, he will. But his time slot is right when he's getting the players' availability. So we've got Manny Navarro coming up here at 11:30. We've got Anthony Chang to talk a little basketball at 12:30. And we've got George Richards at 1 o'clock to talk a little Okie. All right. So we've got a little Canes, a little Heat, and a little Panthers talk coming up. I mean, dude, we give you Dolphins, Canes, Heat, and Panthers. I don't know, man. What show has 4 insiders from 4 different sports on one show? Only this one. So South Florida fans all over the world. That's the beauty, dude. You're in Singapore. You're in South Kendall. You're in New York. You're in Portugal. It doesn't matter. You're always going to be in tune with all your South Florida sports teams right here. Doesn't matter what it is. It's beautiful. Blue Chew is a proud sponsor of the Tua Live crew. You damn right. So he says, damn, I already have Blue Chew. You can still get Blue Chew. You get $5 for shipping. You'll get a whole month free, Dizzy. So why wouldn't you go grab another month for $5? Use another name, bro. Not a big deal. Be smart. $5 for a month supply. Come on, man. $5 for a month supply of sex. Let's go. Load it up. Joey Vasquez says, why am I so calm and unworried about the Heat? The force is strong with them. Let's talk about that, Joey. So last night was ugly. Okay. And, last night's dynamics of the Heat, it's frustrating, right? Because as a buddy of mine was telling me before the show, why the hell did Butler and PJ play when they're clearly not healthy? Which is true. Like, if you're going to mail this in, like hindsight is 2020. And maybe they didn't mail it in. Maybe they just thought that they were going to come in, and the Celtics came obviously more than they needed the game. They could not go down 3-1 because then the series is over. So they had to win this game. But Miami obviously did not come out with the same kind of desperation than Boston, and then they fell behind, and it was over. So you're better off just resting Butler and PJ and buying all that time and let them, but they probably want to set the example. You know what I mean? As veterans, that you got to sacrifice, you got to be there for your teammates, yada, 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 all that crap. And so they played, and then it wasn't worth it, and they got blown out. But I am with you. I'm not worried at all about the Miami Heat. At all. It's 2-2. They've got 3 games left. They got 2 at home. Can they beat the Celtics? Yeah, of course they can. Now, in the end, here's my issue with the Heat. They're not winning the title. No shot. Why? Because Bam can't play the way he played the other night. So if he can't do that every night, which we know he can't, it's not in him. Passive Bam came out again yesterday. It was just embarrassing, dude. I don't know how. And by the way, when the big men play, he goes small. When Williams sits out, he goes and has a field day. It's sad too, man. So Bam is a bully, and he can't actually stand up to the stiffer competition. So when Williams from Boston plays, he can't put up numbers. When Embiid plays, he goes completely small. Sad. It's sad. It's what I told you earlier. The Miami Heat, and of course this is hindsight, screwed up in giving Bam a max contract. He's not a max player. You cannot give the Barkovs, the Hubertos, and the Bams max contracts. You can't. And by the way, Tyler Hero, you can't give him a max contract. Let me walk you through something right now. The Phoenix Suns, okay? Since we do our homework here on the show, we actually prepare for this show every single day. We don't come in and mail it and just repeat segments and interviews and crap like that and have half-hour commercials in an hour. We actually work for a living here, okay? Let me walk you through what's going on somewhere else right now with the same issues. The Phoenix Suns are in the middle of a contract squabble with DeAndre Ayton. His agents want a max contract. They don't want to give him a max contract. So now they're a little pissed off that they're not giving him a max contract. So I was looking at this, right? Ayton averaged 17 points, Bam averaged 19. Ayton averaged 10.2 rebounds, Bam averaged 10.1. Bam averages 55% from the field, Ayton averages 63%. So basically, they're around the same player, right? Difference of 1.8 points, 19 to 17.2. And then obviously there's a huge 8% difference in field goal percentage. The rebounds are the same, blocks, everything else kind of same. So they don't want to pay him max contract in Phoenix. And they're pissed. The agents are pissed for DeAndre Ayton. But the Heat was willing to give Bam his max contract. And he's not a max player. And he has shown it now. You have to be very careful because you bury your team now and you're going to end up losing players that you may need that are better. And Miami's desperation to keep Bam, they end up making a hasty mistake in giving a guy that isn't a max player a max deal. Yet the Phoenix Suns have a high pick in DeAndre Ayton that they've developed, and they have the discipline to say, yeah, we're not going to make that same mistake that Miami made. DeAndre Ayton's a good player, but he's not a max player. If we're going to give somebody a max contract, he's got to be like Devin Booker. He's got to be, a mother effer. He's got to be a closer. And DeAndre Ayton's not really a closer because he is kind of limited, right? And Bam Adebayo is kind of limited offensively also, and limited completely in desire. Obviously, Bam Adebayo is not wired to be great on the offensive side of the ball. Hell, even on the defense sometimes he gets pushed around like I saw yesterday. That was kind of embarrassing at times. So the problem with Miami, the problem with the Florida Panthers, problem with teams in professional sports, you have to make sure who you're making a commitment to. I get it. You drafted Bam. I get he's a great young man. I get he's a hell of a role player. But that's not what you're paying him to be. You're paying him to take up the amount of space in your cap that says he's Alonzo Mourning when he's not. That's a problem. If he's not wired like Zoe, how can you pay him like Zoe? How can you treat him like Zoe? Great young man. Bam is awesome, an awesome person. Not a max player. That's a problem. And let me tell you, here's where you look at Butler, and God, I didn't think he was max, but at least he plays like, I know yesterday he's all injured, so you could tell that he was playing on one leg anyway. But I mean, the track record's there since he's been here. The guy has elevated his game through the roof. He plays like a star. So, okay, you can deal with the money that he's currently making now because he's producing to it, but the guy that's running next to him is not a max player. And now you've got Tyler Hero. Is Tyler Hero a max player? Is he a six man? Six men aren't max players. You're either a six man or you're a max player. And I haven't seen you step up here in the playoffs here. And now you've got a growing injury, which, by the way, you've had a few of injuries too also that have kept you out in the last couple of years here. Probably banged up a little bit more than I would like also, Tyler Hero. Be careful. Is Tyler Hero a max player? You're going to give out another max contract to somebody that is not a max player? You know what I'm saying? So it's be careful. Are you better off with a Caleb Martin who plays two-way? Are you better off with a Max Strus who plays a two-way? And you don't have to give up max deals to those guys. They're manageable deals. But Bam already got you at a max. You're going to give Tyler a max also? Oh, yeah. Joseph Castillo. Oh, why doesn't Duncan start? That's a joke, right? That's like you're not really watching the game or you're just being a troll, right? Has to be. That guy has to be a troll, right? This guy, Joseph Castillo, has to be a troll, right? You really can't be that stupid, are you? I mean, like, that's no knowledge in basketball to say something like that. Heat need to find Lowry, if not 20 pounds less next year. Question is, what kind of contract you already agreed with him, Leon? He's already got the deal in place. When you agreed to deal with Tim Hardaway, you had a weight clause. You had a turnover to assist ratio clause. So I'll tell you a story. As when I was a beat guy, at the end of the game, Tim Hardaway would want the score sheet as soon as possible. And why? Because he had to look at the stats and made sure that he was, I think it was actually 2.5 to 1, the assist to turnover ratio. And so he was very conscious of that every single night because there was like I believe it was like $1 million signing, $1 million bonus at the end of the year or something back in those days. And besides the weight clause, obviously, which many players had a weight clause in their contracts with the Miami Heat. The thing is, if you haven't agreed to that already in the contract, Leon, I don't know if you're going to be able to amend it anymore. And so then if you don't amend it, then there's no agreement, then you can't enforce it and you can't punish it. Get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you agreed for him to be like, the pudgy player that he normally is, well, then that's it. You can't do anything about it. But if you had it in his contract, the weight clauses, the conduct clauses, the assist to turnover ratio, whatever it is that whatever triggers, to use a SPO term, you would create for that contract, it's already there in place. Something tells me you didn't do that already. So you're going to have to suck it up. The thing about the Lowry contract was I thought it might be a bad deal on the back end. I didn't think it would be a bad deal in its first year. And I gotta say, the first year it's been a bad deal. He hasn't played enough games. He's been injured too much. So I'm not really satisfied with the future of that contract. So I'm as concerned as you are, Leon, on that. So I don't know if they can even find him. They can talk to him about it and say, yo, listen, this is proof you're older and you need to take care of your body and you're not doing it. I don't know if he's going to follow it. Big O, you should make Salguero an insider here. No, we won't. He works for Odyssey. He's already got a deal with them. So that's why you never see Armando on our show. Let's see. Chad says, I feel you, but Pat always pays these big guys, but it's always able to move them when he needs to. Shaq's contract, Whiteside are two that come to mind. Those contracts weren't movable until they were like towards the back end of them. That's when they became movable. The good thing about the Duncan contract is going to be very movable. Do you know why? The beauty of the NBA is you have the Indianas and the Milwaukees and the Detroits, the Orlandos, the Sacramentos, the Utahs, the Charlottes. I'm trying to think of, there might be another one or two more. Memphis, Oklahoma City. There's several teams in the NBA, several cities in the NBA that are not free agent destinations. And those kind of cities have to trade for players in order to acquire them. Duncan's a shooter. Somebody's going to want to acquire Duncan in the offseason. He's going to be a movable contract. That one will be movable. Unlike James Johnson and all those other ones, the Heat fed a bunch of bullshit to the media and to fans, and some in the media and some fans bought the bullshit. And that, oh no, Johnson and Tyler, all these were movable, and they weren't movable. They became movable towards the back end of those deals because then they become expiring contracts. So sure, any expiring contract becomes, sexy. So you had to deal with the first couple of years of Whiteside's contract, and in the back end, once it becomes the back end that you could get out of deals, then you can start to trade those kind of guys. But in Duncan's case, I don't believe his contract will be like James Johnson and others. I think they'll be able to move that one right away because those kind of cities that I talked about, they're going to want a shooter. And they can't really attract them in free agency. They have to go via trade. So Duncan will have an opportunity to go somewhere else. And they've got plenty of guys here that you would rather have than Duncan. Max Strus and Caleb Martin are guys, and even Gabe Vincent. Those are three guys I'd rather have than Duncan Robinson right now on this team. Devin Jordan says, Big O, at first I didn't believe there was a weight clause for Heat players until I heard Jermaine O'Neal recently say he struggled losing weight. Oh, yeah, dude. They've always had that. Riley's always had that. And thank you for the super chat. And Man of 1,005 Holes says, when Bam faces big cats, he becomes a kitty cat. Yep. He becomes the Florida Panthers, who are now kitty cats. Remember, folks, okay, FLA Live Arena this week. Send all your catnip, kitty litter, cat litter boxes, yarn balls, all of that. Drop it off at Pantherland. Okay, it's very important. They have a lot of kitties to take, care of throughout the off season. And maybe one day they'll grow up to be cats, but right now we've realized that they're all kitties. So remember, just reminding everybody, if you got a little meow mix there spared, take it over to FLA Live Arena and drop it off at Kittyland, not Pantherland. It's called Kittyland now. We're rechanging it. Okay. Yes, Sean?
Meow 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 meow.
Your theme song for the Panthers. It's the kitty den. That's it. That's it. So, it's just so next year, you got to think about it. The way the Panthers played, next year we'll call the arena the litter box. That's all. Where's the game being played at? The litter box. Why? Well, because they stink. So from here on out, it's the litter box. The kitties play at the litter box. That's it. All right, let's talk about a little Miami Hurricanes with the man, the myth, the legend that is Manny Navarro next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right, Manny, you do live in Broward. Are you going to drop off any kitty litter or anything over at FLA Live Arena? They need it, bro.
Man. Hey, listen, I wish the home teams well in this city, but I mean, I don't watch a ton of hockey, but I knew going into these playoffs, this team wasn't ready to win. I mean, they just don't look like they're constructed to be a playoff caliber team, and they got completely exposed by the two-time defending champions, and it is what it is. But we could celebrate regular season success. In the end, what do we really enjoy around here? It's postseason success, and there's only one
that's
team.
How you're measured, bro. That's how you're measured.
And there's only one team in this city that does it consistently.
Heat. That's it.
That's it. Nobody else.
And it's decades where they're way ahead of everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a shame because the Panthers were the best regular season team this year, but they just, here's where you walk that fine line, and Bam too now, you know what I mean? And we're kind of finding out about Bam, Barkov, and Hubie, and these are franchises that paid these guys these max deals like they were franchise players, and they're really not franchise players. And that's the fine line you got to walk when you're a franchise. Yeah, you drafted your guy, I don't know if you know what's going on with the Suns right now. Like the agents for DeAndre Ayton are super pissed. Why? They want a max deal.
Right.
And, I talked about it. So Bam averaged 19 points, Ayton 17.2. Bam averaged 10.1 rebounds, Ayton 10.2 rebounds. Bam averaged 55% from the field, Ayton 63%. They are telling Ayton, sorry, we like you, but you're not a max player. We're not giving you a max contract. The Miami Heat, they drafted the guy, and they were afraid of losing him and they weren't willing to back off, and they looked at him like a max guy. Here's Phoenix using discipline, saying, yeah, we like you, but we're not going to give you a max deal. Miami, dude, they're running into this problem coming up again now. What do you do with Tyler Hero? Is Tyler Hero a max player? Or is he because you can't be a 6 man and be a max player, right? Last time I checked, I don't know any 6 man that's a max player. So either you're a 6 man and he thinks he's more, but has he shown you that he's more? No.
Right.
So what do you do if you're the Heat now? You got another guy's going to ask you for a max contract. Well, dude, you could end up losing Caleb Martin because somebody could offer him more money now. Does that make any sense? And you pay and look at Duncan Robinson. You have to be very careful these deals that you hand out, and you almost can't get caught in the moment of the excitement of the player. You have to take a step back and really make a hard decision.
Yeah, I think the issue with the NBA in particular, with max contracts and all that kind of stuff, is, there's so many teams that are bad at player development and player evaluation that when you're the Heat, there is a cap, right? Like you're just kind of screwed. Even if you develop a great player, the system is intended for you to end up losing them because you can't keep them all, right? It's supposed to spread the wealth around the rest of the league. So their mistake is just, and they obviously proved it with Dion Waiters when I was covering the team back a decade ago. They proved it with some of these other guys, these big contracts.
Those are stupid contracts. Yeah.
But it's almost like it forces your hand in a way, because otherwise you end up losing the guy for nothing. In Phoenix's case, okay, they built that team through the draft. I mean, it was Devin Booker and essentially Ayton, and then they were able to add a veteran piece like Chris Paul, who fit well enough for them to be the kitty cats of the NBA this season, right? And have a great regular season, but it's meaningless because they're bouncing around too. So I just think in the Heat's case, yes, there's been mistakes made in the past by Pat Riley, but somehow, some way, this dude always figures out a way to get rid of contracts. And yes, you have to use draft picks and sacrifice, but look, I'm not going to mess with the way he's done it, because he's consistently proven over 30 years that he's the best at it in this city. Nobody else has. The Dolphins have, you think of the Ndamukong Suh contract, right? How excited people were over that. It was such a waste of money.
Well, I was not. Of course, I was called the sourpuss.
Yeah.
Oh, you're negative. How can you not be excited about Ndamukong Suh? I'm like, well, he's not really a defensive end, bro. You're paying him like a defensive end,
Right.
But whatever, and yeah, it was a stupid contract.
The money thing, again, like to me in the NBA, there's so many guys that are overpaid that don't deserve it, but that's just because the system really isn't in place for the superstars to be the only ones that get it. It's in place so that ultimately you hit that cap limit. So there's always money left over, and there's always going to be guys screaming. And a team like Phoenix, they're kind of screwed. They kind of have to pay 8, and they have to figure out a way to get it done, because if they lose him, what are they?
Not if you can draft, bro. If you can draft, or you're pretty sexy now. So if that's a slot now that becomes available, maybe you can get a free agent to come there. I can see, because right before you were talking, I was talking about Duncan will be able to be moved because there is the Orlandos and the Charlottes and the Memphis and the Oklahoma Cities and the Detroits and the Indianas and the Utahs and the Sacramentos that will never get free agents anyways. So they will trade for a guy like Duncan to get a shooter. You know what I mean? But if you're Phoenix, you're not really that. You're pretty sexy now. You're a sexy destination. And if you can find somebody else to take that Ayton spot that you feel is worth the money, then maybe you can make that move.
Yeah,
now they can draft because they've got a couple of other young kids on that roster too that are pretty damn good. So they're James Jones, by the way, our boy.
Right. No, he's done a great job. I was out in Phoenix when he first got the job, and I remember the Heat played out there early on, and they were terrible. Devin Booker was their only player, and they were getting killed every night. And it's great to see a Miami-born guy, American High, right, go and do what he's done, being a league executive. But there are challenges in all this, man. And, ultimately the way it's set up, the bird rights and all those kind of deals where you can overpay guys because you're the team that has this bird rights, etc. It makes it tricky. And to me, it only makes me appreciate what Pat Riley and that crew at Miami with the Heat do every year, because somehow, some way, they find a way to manipulate it in their favor. And there's very few NBA teams that do it as good as they do.
By the way, Joey Vasquez says, I'm actually going to show up with a tub of kitty litter at the Florida Live and tell him Big O sent me. Joey, please do it. And please videotape it and post it on social media and tag at Big O Show. Let's start something.
Yep.
Okay? I am serious. Go ahead. Let's have some fun with this. Drop off kitty litter and balls of yarn and catnip. And I'm telling you, dude, please do that. Send them a message. They kind of the players need a message. That ownership group is amazing. I think Bill Zito will look at it like he's been doing already since he took over for Talon. He's going to go, okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. Because I've said this, you got to trade Huberdeau or Barkov now. You've got to trade. I would trade Huberdeau, and I would go find me a son of a bitch. I don't know. I would do the Pat Riley. Where's Alonzo? Where's Shaq? Where's Timmy? Where's Jimmy? Where's Mason? Where's that disgruntled star on some NHL team? Let me go trade for that guy if I'm the Panthers. You need to go trade for a son of a bitch. And Riley does that all the time. He goes and finds a son of a bitch, and he brings him to his team because he can identify him. Bill Zito needs to identify a son of a bitch because you know what's funny? I was laughing at. You remember the yesterday they were talking about the strip club story?
Yep.
Dude, Barkov is a goober. You expect that guy to be at a strip club? Come on, bro. Let's be honest. Now, is Gudas at a strip club with that big old, beard of his, a badass mofo? I can see him at a strip club.
Right.
Yeah, let's use common sense, folks. Huberdeau and Barkov look like they're playing, like Go Fish in the hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An exciting evening for Barkov is that he had a Coke. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I had some caffeine today. It's like, come on, bro. Let's be honest.
Yeah, everybody, every successful team needs a couple of those real men alphas that lead the locker room and get you through the grind. And that's something
Michael
you need.
Goes and gambles till 2 a.m. in poker, and then goes back on the court and puts 50 on your head. And it's like, yeah, I was in Vegas yesterday. And I won a bunch of money, and now I beat your ass. How do you like that, dude? That's
exactly.
There are different guys that are wired differently. Only Lawrence Taylor can show up in handcuffs at practice, and it's like, Parcells, get the handcuffs off so we can get this guy to practice. That only certain guys can do stuff like that. And Barkov and Huberdeau at a Tampa strip club, give me a break, dude.
Go back to every championship team in this city, and I bet you can identify a few of those guys.
Gary Payton was going to be at a strip club, okay? Because I covered him, and I saw him take out a ball of cash every damn night out of his locker room and put it in his pocket. And I'm going, you know where he's going, because he's going to make it rain somewhere. But that's GP. That's different. GP's a son of a bitch. GP can go do that, and then the next night he had 4 steals, 20 points, 10 rebounds. I know we got the older GP, although I could argue, if you go back to that 06 championship, Gary Payton made maybe 2 of the biggest baskets in that entire series, actually.
Absolutely.
So, again, he's a son of a bitch. That's the difference. And and by the way, I mean that with all compliments in the world, okay?
Yeah.
There are certain guys. So it's just, you got to be very careful who you end up paying. And what it's just like what you're doing now. They've got to be very careful on who they give a certain, scholarship to and responsibility, like we've seen in the past, like Willie Williams. You made all that buzz and all that sacrifice, and it didn't pay off. So it's kind of the same thing. It's not money, but it's a sacrifice that you're going to have to make as a program to find the right players to add to it. You know what I mean? Although some of the guys on the periphery, they may have to worry about the kind of money that they dish out. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different ballgame.
Well, when you think about the University of Miami, right, and the whole son of a bitch comment of how you get those nasty guys, like go back and look over the last 20 years and say to yourself, how many of those guys were on this roster over this run of mediocrity? Not many.
There's like a couple, bro. In 20 years, the last 20 years, Calais, a couple running backs, Yeah, there's not a lot, bro. There's
There's
not a lot
not.
'cause now we're in 22 now. So now we're on the second year of that of the when they stole the championship from them against Ohio State. That's
Yeah.
20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Not the one they won in 01. Now it's 02 now, and
Yeah.
we're 20 years out. Yeah, no, there's not a lot of guys after that period, right out of the period where you have a couple of those guys. That he McGahee, all those kind of guys came right there at the end of that run, right around there, right?
Yeah, Sean Taylor, the late Sean
Right.
Taylor. I mean, all of those
The late
guys
Sean
were
Taylor.
were recruited in 2000, 2001. That was sort of
Yeah.
the last really elite recruiting classes at Miami in terms of just, dogs that will go on to have great NFL careers. So yeah, I mean, that's what Mario's trying to do, is find those guys again, right? Just being nasty and being intimidating and putting fear into the opponent. You need those guys when it matters if you're going to win any sort of meaningful games. And Miami just hasn't had a ton of those. So you're right. I think
Is there any guys you're identifying right now that they're counting on to be sons of bitches?
Yeah, there are some guys on this roster that you look at and you say they have the potential to be, but they're not there yet. Like I look at James Williams, the safety, and I say that's a kid who has the son of a bitch in him, right? The I'm gonna knock you out.
Yes,
I'm gonna deliver the pain and make the big play, and I want to make the big play. So
is the other guy that plays with him back there too. He's kind of freakish too in his own way.
Cameron Kitchens, Avante Williams. I think Miami's got a few safeties now. Cameron Kitchens reminds me a little more of Ed Reed. He's more of a cerebral guy. Not that Ed wouldn't knock you out, but Ed was more of a I'm going to out scheme you, I'm going to trick you type of guy. Right. And the other two kids are more physical. The two Williamses are more of the physical, intimidating type guys back there. I think you have that on the defensive side. On the offensive side, Zion Nelson just isn't that personality. He's a sweet guy. He's not that nasty
Barkov?
Left tackle.
He's Barkov?
Yeah, a lot of those offensive guys, they don't really have that nasty dog in them. I don't see that per se. That doesn't mean that there's not guys on the roster that could be that aren't playing right now. I think there's some freshmen that have come in here in the last year or two that exhibit a little bit more of that, but they just haven't got out on the field and played yet because they're still very young. But you got to get all those guys. You got to get more of those nasty SOBs, as you call them. And that's how you're going to turn this thing around, because you go and you look at Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and all the best teams. They got a bunch of those.
Yeah, no, and they get drafted all the time, and you see them, and they end up on football teams. We got one of them named Jalen Waddle, who's got a little SOB in him too. You talked about you got an article there on The Athletic on Saban's rants and Kevin Steele's personal groupings and stuff like that. Talk to us a little bit about the repercussions of Saban's rants. What are you hearing? Because I'm kind of hoping that some athletic investigative reporters start shaking some trees. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have high expectations for anything to come out of this because, yes, he said what he said, but it was more of like a WWE type of, sort of exchange between him and Jimbo. It's a whole lot of talk. Okay. I think it's going to hype up the game.
There were no specifics. I get what you're saying.
There were no specifics. And in the end, all these guys talk tough about, these kind of things. And I'm going to have to do this now because everybody else is cheating, right? That was essentially what Saban was trying to come across saying. But the reality is, to me, none of those guys are ever going to point the finger at each other or sort of release the dead bodies. This has been going on for decades. And how many of those stories have you actually seen published over the years, right? I mean, you think of the Shapiro story. Why did that happen? That's because it became federal investigation against him. He was indicted, right, for money laundering and the scheming that he was doing. So that's the only reason that kind of stuff happened in Miami. To me, even you look back at the NCAA situation with Adidas, right, and the basketball, that just happened a few years ago, right? The FBI got involved in that. Even that, really, there weren't a ton of details that got out about specific teams. So, in terms of people being caught, turning each other in, etc., I don't think we're headed towards that. I think what we're headed towards at some point here down the road is some level of legislation. Now, whether or not the NCAA does it, whether or not the federal government gets involved with NIL, something has to be done because there's not uniform rules. Every state is different. Every state has their own laws, and there's schools that are at a disadvantage. So at some point, whether it's the NCAA, the government, or even potentially just the Power Five schools break off and say, hey, we're gonna set our own rules for this. That could happen a couple years from now, probably. But we're in the very beginning stages, and I don't expect it to get better anytime soon.
By the way, you can order over $99 there at Caneswear, and you will get free shipping. Go to caneswear.com. They've got everything practically with a logo. And, of course, you can buy your Heat gear, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami. They got it all there, Miami Dolphins. They've got all kinds of stuff. They got some really cool stuff. They've got some really cool neon signs that are very affordable, by the way. Go check it out there at Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Go see Brett and all the great people out there. They'll take care of you, and tell them that Big O sent you, man. And again, order online anywhere in the world, man, at caneswear.com, and they'll ship it out right away. You'll get it pretty quickly. By the way, some people we got here, they're picking on Udonis Haslem's head from last night. Did you? Why people? Haslem's 42. He's balding. That's what that is.
Yeah, listen, man.
Those are bald spots. Just because you got a fro doesn't mean that you don't bald. Okay, but he's got bald spots, so he's obviously when you're there, you're not going to be able to hide it as much. So I'm sure he's trying to hide it, like the rest of us that get balding.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean,
yeah.
I love how some of you out there make it sound like that'll never happen to me. Leave the man alone. He's balding. He's 42 years old, bro. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have any diseases. He's balding.
That's the way it
That's
is,
all.
man. We all get old, and I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what.
It's
Yes,
patchy in his way. It's patchy.
And
you know what I mean?
He doesn't play anymore, but he's still an important player on that team, in my mind. In terms of just regulating that locker room and keeping guys focused. I listen, when I covered the Heat those 3 years, right after the Big Three era ended, everybody was like, "Well, what's the point of paying Udonis? Why are we wasting our league minimum contract on this guy all the time?" It's like, no, dude, like he is the heartbeat of that team. He still is in that locker room.
Well, he's the motivational one. Because that's not really Mr. Motivation. He's Mr. Cerebral and X's and O's and all that kind of stuff. And he makes you see the game and then say, "Oh, okay, coach, yeah, that's great. That's a great call. Oh, that's a great move. That's a great play." But Udonis is the guy that goes and rattles the cages.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's kind of what they have him there for. But the poor man's balding. Leave him alone, bro.
Let him enjoy his male pattern baldness. Yeah.
Dude, I was at Pat Benatar 2 nights ago, and there was this guy that was all bald. Right?
Yeah.
He only had like a little patch of hair in the back with a ponytail coming out of it.
Hey, let him enjoy
He
it.
hung on to the back patch of his head.
Yeah.
And he had like long enough to add like a little Hey, bro, you gotta hang on to whatever you can hang on. So if he wants to try to keep the fro alive,
let him
try to cover up Patch Adams all over the place. It is what it is, bro. Leave him alone.
By the way, we didn't talk about it, but Canes baseball this week. First of all, congratulations on a good season. That was the best season they've had, I think in 7 or 8 years in terms of regular season record. They're a top 10 team right now. They're probably going to host a regional. They will host a regional unless somehow they get screwed. And then after that, it's a super regional. So hopefully Gino DiMare this can be the season he has where he can hang his hat on and get to Omaha. And Miami's baseball program has kind of been through it. And I always tell people all the time.
How's he doing it? I don't know if you follow deeply on it, but
yeah.
How in the F is he overcoming something like that money that you have to have? Is he recruiting the right kids and the right parents? Because
I think part of it,
it's got to be talented, and the parents got to have enough money to pay for half the damn scholarship, and that's a lot of money for a half scholarship at the University of Miami. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just think it's identifying the right kind of kids that are going to fit your system, that are going to not only have parents that do the financial backing, but then also just kids that want to be at Miami. That's a hard enough thing in itself, right?
Does he recruit the kid and run a credit check on the parent?
Probably. That's probably how he does. That's the secret to success at UM baseball. But hey,
I see your credentials. Parents, let me see your credit scores here. I just got to make sure. Let me see your bank accounts here. You got the cash? Because seriously, I don't think people realize that. I mean, what Gino's done is super special, considering the limitations that baseball has when it comes to its,
And people are saying, well, they got a couple kids on NIL now. Yeah, but that's a couple, right? I mean, that's a handful. You in baseball, you need a full roster, you need a full pitching staff, and it's not easy to win. It's not easy to win when you're at the top and you've got all the best players, which is the way Miami used to do it. They recruit the best players in the country that come here and play. Now it's kind of like, no, you gotta just know how to manage. You gotta know how to push the right buttons in a lot of these situations. And he's ultimately going to be judged on how far this team goes, but I just want him to get the credit for the regular season, because 39 wins and finishing top, I think 6 in the country in the regular season deserves its own kudos after what they've been through.
It does. And again, what he has to overcome makes it that much more impressive. So props to him. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic. Please subscribe like I do and support Manny and all the great journalists that give us great coverage there from The Athletic, locally, nationally, and internationally. Manny, as always, appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro. Appreciate him. We appreciate Nature B, 27 vitamins and amino acids, 28 minerals, and powerful antioxidants. And I've been telling you about Nature B for 20 years now. Okay, for 20 years I've been taking it. Plant pollen is something I believe in. It provides the boost I need in my immune system. I rarely ever have a cold, and I really credit it all to Nature B because I've been taking it for so long. It gives you sustained energy. You're not running out of gas in the afternoon after you have a little lunch and you want to go to sleep. Well, Nature B will power you through the day. All kinds of benefits, from digestion to your hair. Your nails are going to grow stronger, longer, and faster. Maybe some of those creaky old sports injuries, maybe that eases up a little bit. All you got to do is go to natureb.com, use my code Big O, and you will get free shipping on your plant pollen. You can check out all the other products that we talk about, from the lip balm, soap. My wife loves the wrinkle cream. They've got all kinds of things. So check it out. Go to natureb.com. I've been taking plant, and by the way, it's all from clean green New Zealand and Mother Nature, not made in a laboratory or anything like that. It is all natural. So it's great for the kids and it's great for you, the parents. But you want to give it to the kids because they're bringing nasties home, okay, all the time. So my daughter's been taking it for years. Yours can too. Go to natureb.com. Use the code Big O for free shipping. Hour number 3 is next.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411, and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world. The Sloman Shield.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayum is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Yes, sir. Hour number 3 of the program. Thank you all out there for tuning in. As always, sad night last night. The Panthers got eliminated from the playoffs as Tampa swept them 4-0 in a 2-0 win. Time to replace the head coach. Time to shake up the top. What else? Hey, there's a positive about the Panthers also being eliminated. There's no longer a conflict with the Miami Heat. So that's good. We don't have to worry about those conflicts anymore. I mean, if you want a positive out of all of it, I mean, that's it. Remember, FLA Live Arena, go by Pantherland, Kittyland, we want to call it now, and drop off any kind of kitty litter, catnip, all kinds of stuff. Let's send a message to the boys that, they're kitties. And, and listen, the Panthers are going to need a lot of help taking care of all these kitties throughout the offseason. So they're going to, any kind of cat food you want to drop off, I think they'll like that. Little Friskas, right? Or something, whatever the hell the cat food is called. Yeah, drop off a little cat food, a little catnip. Yeah, a little yarn balls. Yeah, let's do that. Remember, the Panthers now play at the litter box. That's what we're going to call them from now on. We're going to call them the Florida Kitties. They play at the litter box. Maybe one day when they grow up to be cats, then maybe we can call them Panthers again. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can call that place a den. But for now, we're going to call it a litter box. So drop off any litter boxes you have over at Kitty Land. They're at the FLA Live Litter Center. So, go for it, man. They need it. They need it. It would be a good thing, actually. It would be a good promotion for them. And people could send a real, if I'm a season ticket holder, bro, I am so pissed after that performance. You damn right I'm dropping off some kitty litter. Here you go, guys. Your kitties. There you go. So go for it. And by the way, I'm not sure if Sean has added it already. We're going to add the link to our Big O Radio Show Cuts, our new YouTube page. Please subscribe. We got a bunch of people here right now watching, so please subscribe. Search Big O Radio Show Cut or Big O Show Cuts. Actually, it comes out. Big O Show Cuts. It comes out. So you can subscribe there, please. We need that. All right. We got the Heat. It's tied 2-2. No panic. It sucked yesterday. The only thing that sucked for me was that Bam is Bam, and it was no surprise that he became himself again, and that was about it. We got the Marlins back in action tonight. They take on the Rays. Pablo Lopez versus Shane McClanahan. 6:40 first pitch for that one. We've got the Warriors and the Mavs. Well, you know what? We got the Warriors and the Mavs tonight. Warriors are leading 3-0. Why don't we get into our liquor split matchup of the night?
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
Go for it. Last night we sucked. We went with the Heat. It did not work out. We took the 6.5 points. Didn't get a good feel. Golden State's leading 3-0. The Mavs have fought at times. There's no doubt. The Warriors have proven to be the better team. The Mavs are favored by 1 point tonight at home in Game 4. The over and under is 215.5. The Warriors and the Mavs are both minus 110 in the money line. I got to tell you something. I don't know how the Mavs are going to be that much motivated today already at this point. And the Warriors have to be motivated that they look at the other conference and it's 2-2. And it's like, yo, guys, let's eliminate these fools right now. And let's watch the Heat and the Celtics beat each other up for 3 more games. And we can sit back and relax throughout this time and wait till the finals start. Right? And that'll give them extra time over whoever reaches the finals to rest. I think the Warriors are going to finish them off. I'm going to take the Warriors +1 here in this one. The over and under is 215.5. I'm going to stay away from it. And I'm also going to take the money line here, minus 110. I don't think that's a lot. I think that's fine. And I like this. I like the Warriors to finish them off. And I think that's what they will do today. They will finish them off. So I'm going Warriors +1, Warriors minus 110 in the money line. They sweep the Mavs and they move on. That is our liquor split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download then tap that app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
All righty. We love Liquor Split as always. If you want to get in on the Welton Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. I will check the Welton Rayom text line in just a minute. And again, Listen, if you're having problems with your insurance company right now, and you may want to call Welton Rayom. Okay, for homeowner and property damage, we did it. Condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, bankruptcy. Call the great people at Welt and Rayom and tell them that Big O sent you. It is the law firm. Listen, they are used to fighting the insurance companies and taking them down. Welt and Rayom does not mess around. They've been at this for well over 20 years. The partners have been at it for a long, long time. And by the way, they're actually going to become a bigger part of our show going into next month. But if you want to reach out to them, maybe you're having some issues with your insurance, your claims, or maybe your insurance company is giving you some problems with homeowners insurance. Call them 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. Make sure you call them. They will definitely take care of you. All right. Did you guys see finally what happened with Dwayne Haskins? It's a sad story, man. And I know his widow came out and all that. I just, use a little common sense out there, folks. I'm not telling you to go have an alcohol level of 3 times the legal limit. This is why we talk about Liquor Split now. Liquor Split has become such a great service here in Miami, and it's growing, and it's going to, cover more and more as it grows because it's a great concept. But you don't need to be out on the street if you're liquored up, man. If you plan on having a couple drinks, then call a damn cab, call a Lyft, call an Uber. Be responsible. This kid, Dwayne Haskins, had 3 times the legal limit of alcohol in his body. It was in 2 different tests. It was at 0.20 or 0.24. He had ketamine and nortamine, which can also be used as recreational drugs too. All right. Look, man, there's nothing wrong with having a little fun. You want to have a couple of drinks because you want to unwind. You want to share a bottle of wine with your friend, your lover, your wife, your husband, whatever. Great. Do it at home. Relax. Stay home. Now, he was with some strange woman that wasn't his widow, and she was passed out in the car. So there were all kinds of terrible decisions by Dwayne Haskins. This was just, this story seemed like a mess, right? Just from the basic facts of it, because if you know the area like we all do that live in this area, you're not supposed to be out on the street there. I mean, you have no business getting out of your car there. Look, we've gotten to a point nowadays, you shouldn't even be changing your tire on the side of the road anymore. Okay, call a professional and let them do it. Don't even put your life at risk to do that kind of stuff. I mean, use common sense. Dude, you want to smoke your joint? Fine, bro. Roll your fatty. Stay home. Okay, stay home. And if you're going to a friend's house or whatever, and you're going to have a drink and get high or whatever, then get a damn Uber and go home. Or, a couple of years ago, I went to go watch a fight at a friend's house. So I was going to have a couple of beers. You know what I did? I had the wife drop me off, dude. And I didn't even get wasted or anything, but I had a couple of beers. And just because I was going to have some beer smell on me, I don't even want to drive home, even if I'm not drunk. But if I get pulled over and the cop smells alcohol on me, then I got a lot of explaining to do, Lucy. And I don't want to do that. Just be smart, man. You want to get effed up? Go ahead. That's your choice. But, man, do it in an environment where you're not going to hurt yourself or anyone else. Because Dwayne Haskins, while he hurt himself and died and hurt his family, the person that ran him over has to also live with that for the rest of their lives. And it wasn't their fault. But now they've got to live with that horror forever. It's brutal, dude. Just be smart, man. Listen, man, it's a free world. You want to get a little high, you want to unwind, go ahead, man. Plenty of people do it, but do it responsibly. And don't go doing all the crap that this guy did, unfortunately. You want to get a little buzz? Get a little buzz. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. Don't go getting wasted. Wasted is not going to get you anywhere, man. Sad. I feel bad for his family. But those are some terrible choices that man made. Just absolutely brutal choices. Jose Lucas is confident we can beat the Celtics in Game 5. Yeah, I'm definitely confident. Hey, listen, man, I'm not telling you that the Celtics can't win the damn series. Obviously, they're good enough to win the series. I picked the Heat in 7. I figured this would be a war. Okay, but I still think the Heat will win when it's all said and done. We will find out. It's always the same shit. After one team wins, the emotions sway. And people get nervous because the Celtics won. And then when the Heat win, then they get overconfident about the Heat winning. We got 3 games to go. We'll probably see them play 3 games. And Game 7 will come back down to Miami, and they'll decide it here in Miami. That's it, dude. That's all. Tomorrow they'll play here. Friday they'll play in Boston. And Sunday they'll wrap it up here in Miami. And may the best team win, and hopefully it's our Miami Heat. But I'm not going to sit here and think that the Heat can't win this. Of course they can win. Now, I don't think they're going to beat the Golden State Warriors because, unfortunately, Bam can't be Bam. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bam is Bam. He can't be not himself and actually go out and be a real stud night in and night out. That's the sad part. Big old Dolphins posted the McDaniel presser 24 minutes ago. That's awesome. And we'll go over it on our off time, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow, and we'll use it. I've got plenty of stuff to talk about. I'm not really going to air 24 minutes right now. We're on the back end of the show. I have George Richards. I have Anthony Chang coming up at 12:30 and George Richards at 1 o'clock. We got a lot of things to talk about. We'll go. I doubt there's much newsy stuff that came out of that whole thing. So, and I'm sure there's nothing earth-shattering because it would have already come across the wire, and you know, I don't think I see Omar posting the latest fashions. McDaniel says Tua came in very under the weather, so he won't be at practice for the Dolphins OTAs today. Non-COVID illness per McDaniel. So Tua's sick. It's going around. It's going around. Facts, Big O. Smarter to party at home. If you got to go out drinking, don't drive drunk. Yeah, man. Lyft, Uber. It's so cheap. Call a friend. Call your wife. Call your girlfriend. Call your best friend. Howard says, I thought Haskins was leaving a workout. Now ESPN is saying he was, he was at 0.20, 0.24, and he had all kinds of drugs in his system. He was completely wasted. He was wasted out of his mind. Whatever he did with that woman who was passed out in the car, and luckily for her, she was passed out. She might have been on the street with him, dying too. Sad. Guy just did not use his head, obviously. He was just doing a lot of stupid shit, and unfortunately, he paid for it with his life now. Big O, have you ever seen such a roller coaster series in the NBA? One team can be hot, one game can be stone cold the next. Yeah, it's happened in the past. The NBA is kind of crazy that way. Teams get on a roll. There's basketball's all full of runs, and it happens. It's just one of those deals. It might get a little tighter now down the stretch here. We'll see. By the way, the media keeps on building up Mac Jones, dude. I mean, this is as hilarious as it gets, and it doesn't stop, okay? It's one of those things. They did it last year, right? And this is not Mac Jones, so I'm not going to blame the kid or anything, even though I'm not this Mac Jones believer or anything. But it says the current New England Patriots is drawing some inspiration from the greatest Patriots quarterback in history. Mac Jones told reporters Monday that he's been working with famous throwing coach Tom House in the offseason per NBC Boston. House has worked with other quarterbacks like Mac Ryan, Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott, best known for his extensive work with Brady over the years. A January feature on House by the Boston Globe referred to him as Brady's quarterback guru, as well as one of Brady's inner sanctum guys. Along with trader Alex Guerrero, House also said in the feature that he has worked with Brady for roughly a decade now. For Jones, he's coming off a rookie season, which he made the Pro Bowl and led New England to their first post-Brady playoff berth. While Jones is not technically Brady's successor, the Patriots had a bridge year in 2020 with Cam Newton and Brian Hoyer, and tips from Brady's throwing coach have probably contributed to the rave reviews Jones has already gotten this offseason. So they started last year with the rave reviews, and he's the next Twommy boy and all that stuff. And did you see Mac Jones? Oh my God, he looks exactly like Tommy Boy and all this kind of stuff. They're doing it again. They're doing it again. And again, and don't blame him for it, okay? It's the media building it up, but that's because when Michael or Kobe dies or something else, or LeBron or whatever, and we're going to want the when LeBron leaves, we're going to go look for the next LeBron, and we're going to go look for the next Kobe, and we're going to look for the next Michael, and then we start labeling these young guys when they haven't done anything, that they're the next this and the next that, and we put undue pressure on them that they didn't ask for. They didn't. Mac Jones never said, "I'm the next Tom Brady," but they made him out to be the next Tom Brady last year. And he didn't even look anywhere near Tom Brady. And as much as they talk up about everything that they did in New England, what they did is what the Miami Heat do here. Oh, my God. Some of you are going, wait a minute. Hold on. What the hell is that comparison? What is O talking about? How does Mac Jones and Bam Adebayo compare? And the Heat, what are we doing here? The New England Patriots put Mac Jones in a position last year where he didn't have to carry them. He just had to facilitate on his best days. That's why they went into one game where he threw 2 or 3 passes, because they don't count on him to carry them. And guess what, folks? The Miami Heat doesn't count on Bam Adebayo either. The Miami Heat can sell you all the bullshit they want about Bam Adebayo. You can buy all the bullshit you want about Bam Adebayo. But the raw truth is, do you know why he can't play like he played the other night? Because the Heat know he's not wired that way. And he'll never be wired that way. That's why they won't run the offense through him. Okay? So that discussion I had with Ira, and he goes, well, maybe you should be also mad at Spo for not making Bam more the focal point of the offense. No. That's not the case anymore. I figured it out. We figured out I think we've all figured out pretty much Bam does not want to be great offensively. He has no desire. But guess what we also figured out? Because you saw it last night. The Heat has no intention on making Bam a focal point, because they know deep down inside he's not wired that way. They've been around Alonzo Mourning. They know what it's like for a big man to be wired like, give me the ball or I'm kicking somebody's ass. Give me the ball or I'm tearing down the effing locker room when I walk in at halftime. Give me the ball or you're not going to hear the end of it at the end of the game, and in practice, I'm going to be screaming at everybody, give me the effing ball. Give me the effing ball in practice. Give me the effing ball in the game. Shut the hell up and give me the ball. That would be Alonzo Mourning. And the Patriots also know deep down inside the guy they drafted is not that guy. That's why they ran the kind of offense they ran last year, because they didn't want to ever put him in that position, if you noticed. Sure, he made a couple of throws, but they never put the weight of the world on Mac Jones. And guess what? I've realized that the Miami Heat do the same thing with Bam Adebayo. They want him to be a role player. They want him setting picks. They want him with dribble handoffs. They don't want him. They don't want him. They don't need him on that wall. You got that? No. Because they know he can't be on that wall in Guantanamo Bay because he will not help us sleep right. We will be uncomfortable because Bam Adebayo can't bring it every night. So we don't want him. We don't need him on that wall. You want Jimmy Butler on that wall. You want PJ Tucker on that wall. You don't want Bam Adebayo. You don't want Mac Jones. They're not that guy. But the media can go ahead and continue to talk him up when they're not actually watching what's going on the field. But it's all right, Tommy boy. We've got to fill the void of Tommy boy. (855-912-1056). That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rheaume text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Let's see. Block that F, Big O, calling Finn's bums. Who's the guy calling Finn's bums? We'll block him. Let's see. Bring in Barry Trott. That's Frank in Rochester. He says he loves the show. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Frank. And he also hit the like button and everything. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Sending me something about CoinDesk. You're sending me that it hit the top 500 first cryptocurrency. Is that what you're sending me? Well, let's see. All right. Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about all this stuff. Okay. I appreciate it, but not really something that I worry about with the G7. They're all nervous. They're all nervous. 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rheaume text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. By the way, we're going to go into basketball right now with Anthony Chang and our Liquor Split Miami Heat insider reports here. But before I go into that, one basketball note, okay? And Anthony, I know you're in the queue right now listening. I just want to know if you knew about this. Did you know that Dave McMenamin is going out with Malika Andrews? Did you? Yes, you knew that? No? I read that this morning. I was like, huh? What? Huh? Like Dave McMenamin looks like he has zero game. He looks like a really nice guy. You know what I'm saying? And then I look at Malika Andrews, who's a gorgeous young lady, and I'm like, yo, this guy outkicked his coverage like by miles. I would have never, ever put Dave McMenamin and Malika Andrews together. Never. Not in 1,000 years. I would have thought that those two would be an item. I read that today and I was like, wow, man. I mean, props to Dave McMenamin. But I got to say, I did not see that coming. That is mad props to Dave. Malik, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but props to Dave. All right, let's talk a little Heat basketball, because I'm sure some of you are in panic mode. Let's walk you off the panic plank. Anthony Chang in our Liquor Split Miami Heat report. That's next.
Let's tap into the latest with the Miami Heat and our Liquor Split app Miami Heat reports with insider Anthony Chang. Liquor Split is Miami's own online liquor store. Download, then tap the app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split. Here's Anthony Chang.
It says anything is possible if someone like Dave can get one like her, there's hope for humanity. Yeah, bro, there's hope for some of you out there. Admit it, Anthony. I freaked you out with that one, right? Dave McMenamin and Malik Andrews, an item.
If true, I'm happy for them.
Yeah. I of course you're happy. You would have never picked that couple together, bro.
And I know Dave a little bit. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he looks like a super nice guy. That's probably why Malika likes him, because he probably is a nice guy. She's probably run into a whole bunch of jerks in her life, and he's probably like a decent dude. He looks like a decent dude, but God, those two don't look like they go together, bro. It just, I look at her and I think she's going to pick somebody a little bit more GQ. You know what I'm saying? And nothing against Dave. I just don't see him in that GQ mold. You know what I'm saying? Just impressive. He outkicked his coverage, bro. He outkicked his coverage in a big time way, I got to say. All right. Interesting. Last night, a buddy of mine called me this morning, and he had a great point. And he goes, man, they played like crap, right? And PJ and Butler clearly looked like they were playing on one leg. So why play them? And the only thing I could come up with is those guys talk the coaches and everybody into, no, we want to play, and maybe we can steal one and make this 3-1 and put it, in an impossible spot or something like that. But it's that fine line of why did they play when you end up playing like this? And do you think it was what I thought of, that these guys are like, no, come on, coach, we can do it. We can come up with another performance, make it 3-1 and make it impossible for them. Your thoughts on, those guys were banged up. You're up 2-1, mission accomplished in Boston. Why not scale it back a little bit in hindsight after you watch that performance?
I think you're right. I think they saw an opportunity to maybe go up 3-1. They obviously didn't see it going like that, right?
Right.
I'm sure they didn't envision that. If they would have thought that was going to happen, they wouldn't have played. Nobody would have played, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it was an opportunity. PJ Tucker has been playing through injuries all playoffs. I know right now it's the knee irritation, but he had this strained calf in the beginning of the playoffs that he suffered late in the regular season. He's had multiple issues.
The mileage that body has already.
It's crazy. Props to him for even he hasn't missed a game this entire postseason, despite all the issues and despite guarding James Harden, Trae Young, Jason Tatum. He's been incredible. Last night was just a bad night, obviously. Probably their worst performance of the season, at least either the worst or one of the worst for sure. But I think they did see an opportunity. And then when you look at Golden State 3-0, they're going to have potentially a week off here.
Oh, for sure.
And the Heat are probably why are we going to punt a game where we have a chance to go up 3-1 and also get some rest, right? Obviously it didn't work out, but hindsight's 20/20.
All right, and here's the other one that I have. And obviously we've had the Bam discussion has always been something we've had for a few years now. And I've said I gave up on him already on this whole offensive thing. It's not who he is. And I was reading an article on Mac Jones, how some of the people in the Boston media, again, they're already talking him up like the next Tom Brady. The problem is, if you watch the games last year, they never put the game in Mac Jones' hands. They always tried to win it all other ways and had Mac Jones just try to facilitate. Well, Ira and I had a discussion about this a week ago, and he was like, well, maybe you should be mad at Spo for not using Bam more in the offense, this and that. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But after watching last night, I've come to this realization, actually, when it comes to Bam. One, he's not a max player, and the Heat screwed up in giving him that contract now in hindsight, because he'll never be that force you need on offense. He's not wired that way. But more importantly, all right, Anthony, not that you'll get anybody to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Heat know it already, because in a game last night where two of your stars are going in with flat tires, your center is young, he's got all kinds of energy and all that, and he had a hell of a performance on Saturday when Williams wasn't in. And so all of a sudden now you figure, well, hey, we got some guys that are hurting. Let's use Bam again as the focal point of the offense. that wasn't the case. And that just tells me that on a night where you needed him to be him again, yet the team wasn't willing to run the offense through him. And I think no matter what anybody tells me at this point anymore, deep down inside, they know they can't run the offense through him every night. They can't expect him to play like he played on Saturday night because that's just not who he is. He is a great role player that will occasionally get on an offensive role, but not a guy that can impose his offensive game on you on a nightly basis. Your thoughts on that?
I agree and I disagree. I don't think he's a primary offensive option. I think that much is clear at this point in his career. I don't know if he'll ever be that. I think he'll get better on offense. I think he'll eventually develop a more consistent outside shot, maybe even a three-point shot, which would help, obviously, his offensive game. His team sag off of him right now.
How long we waiting for that?
Yeah, I mean, look, Chris Bosh didn't develop his three-point shot until he got to Miami. That was maybe 7-8 years into his career.
Well, but he never tried until he had to get to Miami. That they said, "Hey, listen, LeBron, we need you posting."
Bam has never tried either, and whether that's him or Spo, Bam has never really tried either. I mean, he doesn't take threes, you know.
But that's my point. Notice how that's my point. They're not forcing this issue, bro, at all. The Heat doesn't force the issue at all because he doesn't have it in him. Because he's not wired like Zoe. Zoe would be mother effing everybody on the court. Give me the damn ball, bro. You guys suck right now. Give me the damn ball. In practice, he would do that to them. So they know that in the game, you better give him the ball when he gives you that damn look. That's not Bam, bro. It's not Bam.
I think Bam sometimes struggles between. He's been used as so much of a facilitator, as a hub, as a handoff guy, so much early in his career that I think he struggles with that fine line a lot of times. I mean, you saw Game 3 when Robert Williams wasn't in there. There was a lot of single coverage, semi-transition. He was aggressive, getting past Al Horford, taking advantage of Al Horford's age. He made Al Horford look pretty old that game, although Al Horford bounced back and played really well defensively in Game 4. Celtics loaded up on Bam last night, and you saw the difference. Bam just wasn't as aggressive. He took 5 shots and got 5 free throws. So yeah, I think offensively, we all know there are issues for Bam that he needs to get better at. There's no doubt about that. But what I will say is Bam is a star defensively, and that can't be ignored. He's one of the best. You could argue he's the best defensive player in the league.
0 blocks and 0 steals. He's done that twice in the last 3 games. He's not wired right, bro. It's not wired right.
Yeah, I don't really measure. I mean, yes,
you can't. A great defensive player is Alonzo Mourning. That was going to be a force one way or another. You know what I mean? When I remember great defensive players, that's Jimmy Butler. That's, the guys that actually are relentless at what they do. Bam Adebayo twice in the last 3 games has ended up with no blocks and no steals. And I know you're going to tell me the whole block. Well, they got him on the outside and the perimeter. He can't block as much. Okay, but then
he's a totally different role than Zoe.
You can steal the hell out of the ball. You can still get into passing lanes. You can still do stuff, and you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And there are times when you're also inside fighting for rebounds, and you're trying to get a defensive rebound. You could also block a shot there. And I don't see. Yesterday, he had 6 rebounds. Yeah. I mean, and the other night when he had no steals and no blocks, he had 9 rebounds. I'm sorry, bro. If you're a defensive stud, I need you to be into the middle double digits every night. If you're not going to be an offensive stud, then I need you to become Ben Wallace. I need you to become, Dennis Rodman. I need you to become Clint Capella. I need you to become a whirling dervish on defense. And I haven't seen that every night either.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. I don't think he can be measured by blocks because that's not who he is. He's not a rim protector. He's not a traditional center. He's a guy who could switch onto any player in the league and stay in front of him, which is really unique. I don't know if any other player really can do that, maybe other than Draymond Green. And that's what makes this defense go. That's why this defense is what it is, because of him.
Exceptional role player. Except that you're describing you see what's going on in Phoenix?
Do you think Draymond Green?
You saw what's going on in Phoenix? You saw what's going on in Phoenix?
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. Okay, so DeAndre Ayton averaged 17.2 points. Bam is 19. DeAndre Ayton averaged 10.2 rebounds. Bam 10.1. Bam shoots 55% from the field. DeAndre Ayton 63. DeAndre's agents are super pissed. They want a max deal, and Phoenix says, "You're not a max player, bro. We can't give it to you." So Phoenix is showing the discipline of not paying him max when he and Bam are kind of the same player. I know Bam's a little better defensively on the perimeter. He can defend other guys that probably Ayton can't defend. But still, that doesn't make him a franchise player. That doesn't make him a max player. So here's a piggyback question. Tyler Hero, what do you do, bro? He's a six man.
Yeah.
No six man's a max player, my brother.
I'm not sure if he gets the max, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's a decision he has to make, but I'm not sure if he does.
Duncan Robinson has turned into a bad contract. Bam Adebayo is a bad contract. It's a bad contract.
I don't think Bam Adebayo is a bad contract, but we can agree to disagree.
My brother, he's not a max player. A max player has to be a guy that is a franchise player. He's not that. He's a really good role player. Like, role players can get hot offensively and get on a little roll. Franchise players impose their will on you, whether you like it or not, bro. You're not going to stop. You're not stopping Joel Embiid. That's a max player.
Right.
That's what I call a max player.
Sure.
There's no way that Bam is anywhere near Embiid. If you're talking about big man max, that's fine. Jokic, big man max. He may not play the defense of this guy, but he makes such a difference imposing his will offensively.
There's no doubt he's much better offensive player than Bam. There's no doubt.
He's a much better franchise player, period. Just a franchise player. Dude, you realize that Doncic has more steals and blocks than Bam does in his series compared to Bam right now? I mean,
Yeah, but do you think he's a better defensive player than Bam?
No, I'm just, he's a better franchise player than Bam. That's my point. If I'm giving you franchise money, Anthony, I need you to be a son of a bitch every night, bro. I need you to be the man every night. I need you to be Jimmy Butler every night. And I was wrong there.
Right.
I didn't look at Jimmy Butler as a max player, but dude, the way he's played, that's max.
How much does age come into a factor here? Where you got the max at 23, and you're paying a guy, 4 or 5 years into the future, so you're trying to kind of projecting of what he can be when you give him that contract.
Yeah, I just have a problem. I just don't see it. It's like Huberdeau and Barkov. It's the same thing to me. Huberdeau, Barkov, and Bam are the same players. They all have their gifts.
Right.
But they're not mother effers, bro. They're not franchise guys. They don't know how to impose their will on. To me, that's what a star does. A star affects the game. I'm watching Barkov and Huberdeau, and then I'm looking at Stamkos and Kucherov, and Stamkos and Kucherov are playing like they're imposing their will. Barkov and Huberdeau are just like cruising around. I'm looking at Embiid, and he's imposing his will with a fractured face, a fractured thumb. You can't stop his ass. You know what I'm saying? That's the man. That's what I got. And so now the Heat, they got some issues coming up now, because what do you do with Tyler Hero? You know what I mean? What is that, another projection?
Right.
How do you project that one?
It is going to be tough. I mean, it is another projection type of deal where you're trying, you might be paying out for the next 4 or 5 years. So you're trying to project what he can be, and and that's where the decision comes in, and that's what makes it so complicated. It's kind of similar to Bam in a way, where you're paying a young player what you believe he will be in a few years.
Yeah, because I think the Duncan contract can be moved. I was
Sure,
talking
and that's
about
a
this
contract.
earlier.
Yeah.
Sacramento, Indiana, Utah, Orlando, Charlotte, Detroit, Memphis, Oklahoma City, even though Oklahoma City has 4 billion picks. But all these kind of cities that can't get any free agents, they all need a shooter. Everybody needs a shooter.
Right.
So he'll be able to be moved. That I'm not worried about. That contract's not crazy. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you'll be able to save Caleb Martin and free up that kind of money so you can keep, because that's my problem here. Maybe you have a couple of guys that you are developing, because you look at Duncan and you go, well, Strus is better. Strus can fill the lane. Strus can handle a little bit. Strus can play defense. Strus can rebound. Strus has an edge to him. This guy does not, so you have that guy, you know what I'm saying? And when you look at Tyler, you're going, well, wait a minute. Okay, he's got a fantastic offensive game and all that, but do we pay him the max, or do we save ourselves some money and say we can kind of get the same thing from Caleb Martin maybe, but yet we don't have to pay nearly as much? I don't know how you handle this, but they've got some tough decisions. Look at the Lowry deal. I thought the Lowry deal was going to be a bad deal on the back end. Well, guess what? It's turned out to be a bad deal in the first year already. He's missing way too much time at this point with his injury.
Yeah,
so
it's unfortunate, the timing of the injury for sure. One thing on Bam that I will say, and I get all your points. I get all of them. But I think whether you think he's a max player or not, if the Heat put him on the trading block right now, which they're not going to do, there would be numerous teams trying to trade for that contract, which you can't say it's a bad contract in that regard, because if that's the market, that's the market, right? So I think even now, even despite all his faults, he has faults, obviously, offensively, if you put him on the trading block, every big market team, every big
I'm not saying to trade him. I'm not saying to trade him.
I know. I'm just saying
you can still do an Orlando Magic thing like they did with Dwight Howard years ago,
where the shooters.
Yeah, exactly. Where he's the focal point on defense, gives you whatever garbage points you get from him, and then you got to have the guys around him. So I'm not telling you it can't work. It can work with Bam, but again, now we know what he is. So you got to make sure you have some sons of bitches around him, not just Butler. You got to find another one or two other guys and say, okay, we got to surround the guy, because we can never count on him to be the focal point of the offense. And that's the other thing. The Heat have never, they don't even try to run offense through him.
Right.
And
when
there's got to
be, they tried a little bit, but that was
a reason why. There's a reason why they've come to that realization. They may not tell you publicly, they may not tell me publicly, but deep down inside, they know he's not the guy offensively, because at this point in his career, he's not a factor, and you're happy with him disappearing at nights, then that tells me you don't care. That's not a focal point of what you're looking from him. It's like a bonus, almost.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
How do you handle Game 5 now? Any changes? What do you do with Oladipo? What do you do with some of these other guys that you have right now? Do you tweak anything?
I don't know if there is anything to tweak. I mean, they need to find solutions offensively, obviously. They had 3 shots at the rim in the first half, a bunch of mid-range shots, contested threes. Shot chart was bad. Celtics defense is really good, but if they're going to, they have to find ways to generate some efficient offense. If not, they're going to lose this series. Jimmy Butler can't go 3 for 14 and take no free throws. He's taken 2 free throws in the last 2 games. They need Tyler Hero to play, because he is one of their best shot creators. And against a really good defense like the Celtics, that you just sometimes need to hit tough shots. I know Tyler hasn't been playing great, but he has that skill set to be able to do that. So I think they're just gonna. There's probably certain tweaks they can do offensively to get guys maybe better looks against what the Celtics are doing and really loading the paint and going under screens. But at the end of the day, they're gonna have to hit more shots, and they're gonna have to find a way to generate better offense. And Jimmy, I know he's not 100%. I mean, that's obvious after the way he played in Game 4, but he needs to be the best player on the court, pretty much, for the Heat to win.
Do they regret what they did last night and letting those guys play, you think? Because
I don't think so.
I could have given them 2 more extra days of treatment and no wear and tear.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't think so.
Pressure for Game 5, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they regret it, because, again, you don't know. I mean, yeah, if you look at the result, I'm sure they would say, man, we should have sat them. But how do you know that's going to happen? You had just won Game 3. You had the momentum.
That's part of regrets.
Yeah.
Regrets they come from you didn't expect it, but then it's hindsight. It's all hindsight. They got to have some regrets right now.
Sure.
Even Jimmy has to have regrets that he played, because it's 2 more days of treatment for him without wear and tear. And maybe, just maybe, because now that you played, man, that makes it that much harder for you to be fresh for them in Game 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and the Eastern Conference final schedule is tough. Every other day, now they're traveling today to go back to Miami. I mean, there's just not much time to rest for either side, whether it's Marcus Smart and Robert Williams, or the Heat with Jimmy, PJ, Kyle, Tyler, there's just not a lot of time to rest.
They traveled today. They didn't travel last night.
I believe that the plan was that since the game was so late last night, 8:30, get out at midnight, it's a 3.5-hour flight. I believe they traveled back home this morning. Yeah.
Okay. 3.5 hours from Boston?
Well, 3 hours and a little over 3 hours. Yeah. A little over 3 hours. It's a pretty long flight.
All right. What are you working on there? And by the way, folks, remember, download the app, tap that app, iOS or Android, Liquor Split, and please don't drink and drive. Okay, so stay home, watch the Golden State Warriors and Mavs game tonight, watch the Marlins tonight, order your liquor, order your wine, order your whiskey, order your snacks. Go to the Liquor Split app, tap that app, folks. $2.99 flat fee, no hidden fees whatsoever there. So download the app at Liquor Split. What are you working on in the Miami Herald as we get ready for Game 5, my friend?
Yeah, I'll have something up later today on kind of the free throw disparity between these two games. It's amazing the Heat even won one of these two games. Boston took 40 more free throws than the Heat in games 3 and 4.
Is it more about the rest, or is it more that they're not attacking the hole?
I looked at the numbers, and the Heat have one fewer drive to the basket than the Boston these last two games. One fewer drive. It's just that they have gotten fouled, I think, on 2 of them, and Boston's gotten fouled on, I think, double digits on their drive. So, maybe I hadn't looked at each individual drive, but when you're getting to the basket that much, and you're getting fouled that little, I mean, some of it you would think has to be on the refs.
As I've said for many, many years, there's no worse group of referees than NBA officials, bro. NBA officials for me in the United States are the worst group of officials, worse than any other pro league out there in the United States. I just don't think anybody brings it like NBA. That's those makeup calls and all this other stuff that goes on all the time. It's baffling to me, man. It really is sometimes the refereeing that goes on. And now my problem is you have played it. This is the kind of series that in these 4 games, the loser can't really complain because the loser never really played a good game.
Right. And it wasn't even close. Right.
Right. They always get buried.
Right.
So
Right.
I can't even lay it on the officials. There have been some calls that were just
weird calls.
Yeah. It's just stuff that's terrible, but I can't lay it on them, right? In the end, when you look at the results for 4 games, the loser each night deserved to lose.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, whether the Heat took as many free throws as the Celtics or not in Game 4, the Celtics were clearly the better team. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
But it is amazing that the Celtics have ended up taking 40 more free throws than the Heat in Games 3 and 4. That will have to turn around in Game 5. Again, Jimmy's shooting 0 free throws in Game 4. That played a big role in it. I mean, what do you take, 18 free throws in Game 1?
Yeah.
That can't happen.
And nobody is better in traffic and around the rim than that guy. That guy, by the way, he has vice grips for hands, right? He doesn't really have real hands, right? Those things are mechanical.
No.
Right?
It's incredible.
He's got those are bionic hands, right? Those
should be a tight end, right? He should be a tight end.
No, I'm just saying. I think he had his hands replaced by something. Those aren't real hands. Those aren't real hands. I'm telling you. I'm calling bullshit on this. He had some operation and he has some bionic hands, okay? Because those mothers are vice grips, bro. That guy, you can't take the ball away from him in traffic.
No.
That is impressive.
His strength, his balance, and the way he can draw contact. Yeah. That's why, I mean, again, I think he took 2 free throws in Game 3, 0 in Game 4. That's not the Jimmy we know. Jimmy is going to have to be Jimmy in Game 5 for the Heat to win.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Because we're not going to – the Bam we're looking for is always on a milk card. You have no idea when it's going to show up. It's like potluck. It's just one of those – it's like a Jack in the Box.
Right, you just don't know.
And then it just pops up. Hey, well, Bam's going to score 25 tonight. Yeah, all right. All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chang. Catch his work there at the Miami Herald and subscribe like I do to support all of our great journalists by subscribing and by creating this platform too, by the way. We support a lot of journalists by doing that also. Anthony, I
That's very
appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. We will catch up later in the week. Hopefully, we'll be talking about something good on Thursday.
Yeah, big game. Probably most important game of the season. We'll
Big
see what
time.
happens. See you in a couple days ago.
All right, brother. Be good. There you go. Anthony Chang. Download the app, iOS or Android. Tap that app, baby. Liquor Split. Flat fee of $2.99. No hidden fees whatsoever. And $1 of that $2.99 goes to helping homelessness in Miami. That's our Liquor Split Miami Heat report.
You're now tapped into the latest with the Miami Heat. This has been the Miami Heat Liquor Split Report with insider Anthony Chang. Download the Liquor Split app and enjoy your favorite drinks at wholesale prices. Delivered right to your door in minutes with a flat fee of $2.99. VIP lifestyle without the VIP prices. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Alrighty. Well, Sean, before we go to Mr. Richards here at the top of the hour to talk a little Oki after, Anyway, and we will talk to George about this because it is as disturbing as it gets with the Panthers. But Sean, I know you're a wrestling guy. I saw this. Walk me through this. WWE suspended women's tag team Sasha Banks and Naomi after the duo walked out on Monday Night Raw last week. Usually you could chalk it up to something like a work, but this is very much real life as the company also stripped the duo of their tag team titles because of their actions. Michael Cole, the announcer, broke the news Friday night in SmackDown saying Sasha and Naomi let us all down. Their actions disappointed millions of WWE fans and their fellow superstars. So because of what Sasha and Naomi did this past Monday night, they have been suspended indefinitely. More information comes out. Dave Meltzer notes, Wrestling Observer Radio, that Banks was upset that WWE is nixing the original plans for her at WrestleMania 38. Banks was slated for months to challenge Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title at the show. Things drastically changed once the WWE found out Ronda Rousey wanted to come back. So what's the deal? Rousey is a better draw than Sasha? Why'd they do that, Sean? Because that's kind of
and that's not even the whole gist of it. Meltzer's one of those guys. He's let's see. I'm trying
walk
to
us through it, insider.
I mean, I've been covering it since Friday or since last Monday on the wrestling shows. Basically, what happened is they're the tag team champions. Mm-hmm. They wanted Naomi to win the 6-pack challenge, even though it wasn't, marketed, advertised, or anything else. They're going to put Naomi, one half of the women's champions, against Bianca Belair at Hell in the Cell. Then on the other side, they're going to put Sasha against Ronda at Hell in the Cell for the Raw titles. Both tag team champions would lose, which brings down and deflates, why are you the tag team champions? There's plenty of other women to put on the card in that spot. Sasha Banks knows her value. She didn't side with it. That's the gist of what it is. Now you can say it's sour grapes, it's whatever. She's under contract and everything else. But the mid-level belts in WWE mean crap. Okay. They're crap. They're basically those poor talents have to carry the belt airport to airport because they don't mean anything. And finally, somebody has stood up to it, and whether right or wrong, however you want to see it, she understands her value, and it makes no sense to devalue the tag team champions because they are more over than your current champions. So you're going to beat them down to bring up your current champions who haven't even been on TV. So
wow. All right. So now I would imagine Sasha's going to try to leave to the Root Beer League.
She's under contract. What I'm hearing is till the end of August of this year. So ultimately, they're probably suspended till the end of their contract, and then they'll let them go. Did O freeze? Oh, are you froze, or are you just standing there looking at me? Am I froze? All right. If you could hear me in the chat, let me know. Did O freeze?
There we go. I don't know what the hell happened.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Let's take a break. Let's get ready for hour number 4. And let's talk about what could be an ugly offseason for the Florida Kitties. Let's get our kitty report, our ALennyLocksmith.com kitty report with, of course, George Richards.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. Time for the Lockdown segment with Florida Panthers insider George Richards. This lockdown is brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com. Here's FloridaHockeyNow.com insider George Richards.
Hey, there we go. There he is.
What's up, bud?
How'd you feel last night? Because it's got to feel like crap for you, man, because it's like to end the season this way after this regular season. And you know, I really thought that this was finally the year that they were going to break through, my brother.
Yeah.
So disappointing last night to see what's gone on and what's developed with this team, man. It's a real shame.
Well, listen, Tampa Bay had a plan for them and played it to perfection. They just sat around and waited for the Panthers to make a mistake or what have you. And, you know, for the first 3 games, the Panthers really didn't show up. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is. They made a couple mistakes here and there. Game 1 was a major disappointment. Game 2 could have gone either way. Game 3, the third period, I don't know what that was. Tampa Bay was the team that looked like they were down 0-2, not the Panthers. And then game 4, Panthers played the best game.
They played bad last night.
Perhaps of the playoffs, and then you just had Vasilevsky. So if you play game 4 and game 2, it's okay. All right, cool. You move on, right. And that's that. Unfortunately for the Panthers, that came last night, and that was that.
So a couple of years ago, I started the fire. And I said, Dale Talon's got to go. And most people were kind of nervous about that statement. And eventually everybody came to my side of it. And they finally got rid of Dale Talon. I said this before yesterday's game. I think the Panthers are going to have to trade Hubie or Barkov. They're going to have to go find an SOB. And Riley has done it throughout the years, finding Zoe or Shaq or Timmy or Jimmy or whoever over the years. He goes and finds that disgruntled star and trades for him. I'm not exactly sure, George, if that SOB is somewhere in the NHL right now on some team. You follow it a hell of a lot more than we do. But I think this version of the Panthers is done. You know who they are. And you're led by 2 Bam Adebayos, and you can't be led by 2 Bam Adebayos. You need to be led by an SOB. Do you agree that it might be time to shake it up a little bit to the point that you've got to go find your own Kucherov? You know what I mean? Because they've got 2 of those, Stamkos and Kucherov. You know, you've got to go find your Crosby. You got to go find your Matthews. You got to go find some son of a buck that will take over, that will impose his will. I don't think they have that on this roster. As good as Barkov and Huberdeau are talent-wise, I don't think they're wired that way. So your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. And you could have had a player like that for free this season in Evander Kane. Nobody wanted to touch him. And you look at, because he, comes with a lot of baggage, but you look at what he's doing at Edmonton right now, in the playoffs, playing with a very skilled team, and he's putting up some serious points. Anyway, I think, there might be some some validity to that. It won't be Barkov.
It'll be Hubie. That's what
It's probably going to be Huberdeau. If you
and I are on the
trade him,
same page. Yeah.
If you trade Huberdeau here's what I'm thinking. He's got 1 year left on his contract. If you don't think, and I've been saying this all week to anyone who listens to me, and nobody does, but if you don't think that you can sign him, if you don't think that he's going to want to take your terms, and by that I say he's going to be 31 years old. Does he want a 7-year deal? Does he want an 8-year deal? Well, I don't think Florida can give him that. So, and I don't think Florida wants to give him that. I think Florida would give him like 4, maybe 5, and that may not be good enough for him. So he may be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and okay. The Panthers are already going to be up against the cap this year. They are already going to have to make some moves. Somebody's got to go. They don't have any. They're in big trouble on the cap because you've got Keith Yandel, $6 million hitting this year. You've got Barkov getting a $4 million raise. Jonathan Huberdeau right now is very affordable at $6 million. It's a very team-friendly contract. So is Mackenzie Weegar. Those guys would bring something decent on, for the Panthers and allow them some flexibility to do some more things. There's some tough decisions that have to be made this offseason by Bill Zito. And I would not be surprised if some of the bigger names that maybe you're gone, and maybe that's done to keep Claude Giroux. Maybe that's done to keep Sherratt. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens.
Give me some players outside of Evander Kane. You
don't know what's available.
You haven't gone there yet. Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't even. No, because come on, Bill Zito finds players you never did. Nobody in their wildest dream thought Patrick Hornquist was coming to the Florida Panthers. Nobody thought in their wildest dreams that you could trade Mike Matheson. So, he's been able to pull some rabbits out of hats so far. I mean, maybe Patrick Hornquist played his last game yesterday. He's got like a $5.5 million cap hit, 1 year left. You love everything he brings. He's that SOB guy, but he doesn't, but the production just isn't there.
Dude, Verhaeghe was our stud in the first round. Without Verhaeghe, our boys don't get through the first round.
Right. So Verhaeghe, and he gets a raise this year, so you've got Verhaeghe getting more money. Mason Marchment, you can't keep him right now because he's going to demand a lot of money on the open market. But if you're able to move a couple pieces, thinking that you can replace that with some, some better used capital, I think they'll go for it, because now after you just got swept by Tampa, you're not worried about we're going to tear apart what we've built and how special it is, because hey, after last night, it wasn't that special.
Yeah, it's not special. And sadly, I don't think Brunette survives either.
And again, like I said, 2 months ago, I heard that Brunette wasn't even all that interested, because I was like, well, how do you replace him? And then, that's not really right. And they're, well, I don't think he'll be that upset about it. So, and in talking to him last night, he said at one point, yeah, I love this team. I would like to be back. And then at other times, it sounded like, yeah, I'm not so sure about it. So I don't know. I mean, I threw out some things today at FloridaHockeyNow.com. That who knows what kind of backroom deals have been talked about. Maybe there's a front office job for Andrew Brunette with the Panthers. Maybe he just wants to be an assistant coach. I don't know. We don't know. So, we just go by what they tell us. The Panthers are very close-lipped when it comes to this stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see. Andrew Brunette, obviously, if he wants to be a head coach, he did a pretty, he's a candidate to stay. And I know he got out-coached in the first round, and I think that a little bit of that in round 2. But I put the blame on the players for round 2.
Oh yeah, no, I'm blaming more the players. But here's the thing:
how many years though? How many years in with the Florida Panthers have the coaches been blamed for the failures of the players? Go down the list. Go down the list of all the coaches that have been sacrificed here because the players didn't get it done.
I agree.
Andrew Brunette's a first-year coach. He got out-coached by one of the better coaches in the league in Washington, and Peter Laviolette. He was going against John Cooper, who's been doing this for 10 years and has, 2 rings. I mean, All right, everybody learns. I mean, this was a great learning experience for Brunette. If he wants the Florida Panther job, and unless you've got Barry Trotz, unless you've got Joel Quenneville coming back,
That's what I think. They're going to go for that veteran
I
coach.
think yeah. If you don't have either of those two, then and I think they want a more experienced coach. So
let me ask you, if you have a more experienced coach, because I'm with you, I'm blaming the players more than anything. To me, Brunette is, way behind.
Yeah.
Like Bob wasn't an issue, and I'm not going to put Brunette like, oh my God, he was so terrible. I'm blaming more the players. Brunette is after the players, okay?
Sure.
But if you had an experienced coach, a Trotz, somebody that could rattle cages and command respect, could he have eked out any wins in this last series?
I don't know, because Andre Vasilevsky's not a coach. I mean, that guy was just they scored 3 goals. The best scoring team in hockey scored 3 goals in 4 games. So I don't know what would have changed. I mean, Tampa Bay again sat back. They played a road game. They waited for the Panthers. And last night, if not for Sergei Bobrovsky, your buddy, Florida would have been down 2-3-0 in the second period because they made stupid mistakes. They were clearing, they had these stupid backhanded clearing passes that get picked off in the slot. Sergei Bobrovsky saved that. Florida should have been down. Should have been down in that game, and they weren't.
You're right.
And then they get a fluky goal from Pat Maroon, that stick down and whatever. Sergei Bobrovsky was terrific. Florida couldn't score. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely blaming it more on the players. And actually, as much as Bob has been a disappointment to living up to that contract, he was not the problem overall this season or in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Bob was good this year. Yeah, Bob was.
We have to admit this year, Bob was not the problem overall. What are you hearing from the franchise itself? How are they handling all of this? Because I got to imagine Violets who are steaming right now with what's going on.
Well, I guess it's too soon. I haven't heard anything really. I mean, it just happened last night. I know there was some disappointment in losing the 2 games at home. They kind of signed their own death sentence. I mean, they were going to Tampa, not dead men walking, but the road was long to have to win. A game, you probably had to win 2 in Tampa to even have a chance, because even coming home down 3-1, let's say the Panthers win Sunday and then lose last night and they come home 3-1. Yes, they have life, but Tampa's got the hammer, and that's a team you do not want to face in an elimination game, as we saw last night. So Vasilevsky in elimination in series clinching games has 6 shutouts in his last 7 tries. It's unbelievable what he's done for them. They've won 10 straight playoff series. So I don't know what's going around the Panthers. They feel like they're in good position because, listen, a lot has been made now about how Bill Zito traded away all these future assets for rental players. That was absolutely 100% the right call. You get a chance to bring in Claude Giroux, you do it. You get a chance to bring in Ben Sherratt, you do it.
Yes.
And he didn't give up any assets. He gave up first-round picks that are probably going to be the 26th overall pick anyway, and you wouldn't see that guy till 2028. So you didn't give anything up for the near future.
How much more building and how much more prospects are we going to have, dude? Enough already with that.
The Detroit Red Wings for 20 years traded away their first-round picks because they knew they were finding Hall of Famers in the 6th and 7th round. That's what the Panthers have to do, and they feel like with Zito, with his staff, they're going to draft better, whether they've got the 26th overall pick or they've got 171. They're going to find players. So they didn't give up their kids down in Charlotte in the AHL. There are going to be guys coming up next year, maybe not superstars, but depth players at a good price. So they feel like the organization is in good place. Yes, they're up against the cap, but they feel like with Zito and his staff, and then I stress his staff, because Vinny Viola's opened up the checkbook, not only on players, not only on hotel, whatever.
Well, as an ass kicker, bro.
The staff, the front office is loaded. You've got 3 or 4 former general managers of the National Hockey League and the American Hockey League working in there. So it's a collaborative effort. And then you let Zito, pull the
That
deals,
gives me hope.
pull the rabbits out of his hat. So
that's the
he'll
guy.
be
That's the guy
fine.
that
I
gives
mean,
me
this
hope.
is a good team. This is a good, and the franchise is in the best shape. It really is the best shape it's ever been in. And I know
listen,
you didn't like Dale Talon, but he did. This place was an absolute dumpster fire
yeah,
when
but
he
you know
got
what?
here.
As that legacy goes on, the legacy dries out, my brother, because Barkov,
No, for sure. Right. As it got on,
Ekblad, their
Yeah.
legacy is jack crap. That's the
well,
problem now.
these are the three of the top players this franchise has ever
I
seen.
know, but they've produced squat, and
Okay.
that's
that's fair,
unfortunately,
and that is fair. But they are all also, aside from Huberdeau, they're 25, 26 years old. One of these days it's going to click. I mean, it sucks right now. You're a basketball guy. It's, when you were the Detroit Pistons, it sucked to lose year after year after year to Boston. But then one year they
but you
beat them.
eventually got over the hump. How many more years with these
right,
guys?
But this is a new deal with the Panthers. This is year 2.
But here's what I was going to tell you.
Panthers.
Here's what I was going to tell you. What I love about Viola Sifu and now Zito is that Viola and Sifu inherited a whole bunch of stuff. And then along the way, they've made the changes and the franchise has gotten better and they'll make the tough decisions, including saying, hey, Dale Talon, you did a good job, but it's time to make the change. And they did. And Zito has a great feel for what's going on. And he's already made proper changes. And I think Zito sees the same thing I saw in his top guys. And I think he's going to go get a son of a bitch when it's all said and done, because when he took over, the first thing that I complained about the Panthers was that they were freaking wussies, bro. They were constantly getting pushed around and all that. And he went and got Gudis and all these guys and toughened up the team. And maybe he still has to take it to another level still. But overall, that's what I like about Zito, and that's what I like about Viola and Sifu. They will not stay stuck in the mud. If they see there's something, they will make the tough decision. So that's what I like about those three guys, that there needs to be some tough decisions made this offseason, and those guys will do it. So
yeah, for sure. And we don't know a lot of talk, as Joe Thornton probably played his last NHL game last night. But there were probably a number of guys, maybe even some people we haven't even thought about, who played their last game as Panthers last night, just because some deals have to be. You just mentioned Gudis. As much as they love him, he's got 1 year left on his contract. He would probably get something on the market. I mean, who knows? I'm not saying that Gudis is going to get traded. They love him. They might be wanting to give him a 5-year extension. I don't know. But
he's the guy that was at the strip club. He's the guy.
There was nobody at the strip club.
No, listen, here's the best part about it. Barkov's a goober. That guy would never be at a strip club anyway. So why would you even believe that story? I mean, Barkov and Hubie look like nice guys. Those guys don't look like strip club guys. Now, Gudis, he looks like the guy that might go to a strip club, have a beer, and then go kick somebody's ass the next night.
Right,
I can see him.
for sure. Yeah.
You
I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm with you.
There are certain guys, like when I used to cover the Heat, you saw Gary Payton. You knew where he was going after the game with that big roll of money that he had. Barkov and Hubie, when I heard that story, I was like, guys, have you seen those guys aren't strip club guys? Come on, man. They're good dudes. Leave them alone.
Barkov was in his room playing video games.
For sure, dude. Like I said, a risky night for Barkov is that he had a Coke. That's it. Yeah, I had a Coke. I had a lot of sugar tonight. I should have done that.
I shouldn't have the sugar. I have to work that off tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it. All right. What are you working on Florida hockey now that you have the whole off season?
Wow, yeah. I mean, the canvas is open, right? I mean, right now we've got a story. I got a story up about Andrew Burnett this morning. That was the first thing I put up about what does his future entail, and there are a lot of questions that need to be answered with Andrew Burnett. We also have a story up that about how the Florida Panthers, how the Tampa Bay Lightning, when they lost in 2019, when Bobrovsky and the Blue Jackets swept them, they were the first president, number one team in the NHL to get swept out of the first round. The Panthers are now got swept out of the second. Tampa Bay changed its game, right? John Cooper said, fellas, you wanted to play this up and down, lead the league in scoring crap. I was against it, but I let you do it. Now we're going to do it my way. Now we're going to play some defense. Now we're going to stranglehold teams. Look at them now. They've got 2 Stanley Cups, and they're working on a third. So with some of these moves that the Panthers have to make, do they maybe tone down the offense a little bit and kind of cramp, start playing a different style of game? Perhaps. And maybe that's what's needed, because listen, as much fun as the Florida Panthers were in the regular season, those 3-on-3 overtimes kind of catch up to you. I mean, we talked about it. There is no 3-on-3 in overtime in the playoffs. And, teams figure out how to stop offense,
Let's hope they figure it out, brother, because I don't want to end another season this way, because this was just to lift me up this high and then just drop my ass.
Hey, listen, but they're not going to fall off the face of the earth. This is still a franchise. Listen, they've still got everybody, and even if the Panthers decide, hey, we may not be able to sign Huberdeau, but we want him to stay. You still got guys that you're going to go into next year with. Maybe you lose them for nothing, but I don't know, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they've got a 7-year contract sitting on Huberdeau's desk. I don't know.
We do have a new theme song for the Panthers now.
No, what is that?
Oh yeah, Sean, let's play the new theme song for the Panthers, because we have told the listeners to get some catnip, any cat food, yarn balls, drop them off over at Kittyland. It's not Pantherland anymore. And from now on, you're not going to the FLA Live Arena. You're actually going to the litter box, because they're kitties now. That's what they are. They're not cats. They're kitties. So we have There we go. So we have encouraged listeners to go to Pantherland today, drop off any kitty litter, anything that they've got, because, Panthers are going to be busy all year long taking care of all these kitty cats all off season. And maybe they can grow up to become real cats. Who knows one day. So there you go. Meow, 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 meow. There you go. I think that'll be we're going to come up with a shirt and everything for the Panthers for the meow meows. How about
Sounds
that?
Good.
Is it all right? Can we call it the litter box now? That's what we're going to call it?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of
prove
people
it otherwise.
It's going to have some weird, goofy name anyway.
Right. It doesn't really have a sponsor at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to have some cryptocurrency nobody's ever heard of,
I think Meow Mix should be the sponsor. That's what I think.
You would think. It makes sense.
Make a lot of sense. All right. Follow him on Twitter at George Richards. Please subscribe to Florida Hockey Now. It's like $3 a month. It's a joke, and you get great coverage of the kitties. And
I'm going to spend more than that on tolls right now.
That's right.
Going across the alley. It's going to cost me more.
Right. That's right. That's all right. You're making a couple bucks here right now. So that, you'll end up on the plus side here on the platform. So we take care of it.
Well, and I bought lunch. I bought lunch at Zaxby's, so now I'm in the red.
Ooh, Zaxby's. That's a classic. I like it. There you go. A little Zaxby's. All right, George. You're a stud, my brother. I appreciate you as always. We'll talk next week.
All right, my man. Be good, brother.
You got it. There you go. The great George Richards, baby. And our ALennyLocksmith.com lockdown segment.
This has been the Florida Panthers Lockdown segment, brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Call 855-869-5625 or go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
It's a beautiful thing. And don't forget, they are a 24-hour locksmith. So if you're locked out anywhere in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, they've got 10 locations. We've got locations in Tampa and in Orlando and one in Phoenix, Arizona. They're going to add more. So whether it's your home, whether it's your car, if you're locked out, they can get you in. If you need a spare key made, they can do that. If you need keys reprogrammed for your cars, because a lot of cars obviously have those chips and all that kind of stuff, they do all of that for you. ALennyLocksmith.com. They are a complete locksmith, all right, 24 hours a day. And make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will definitely take care of you. All right. When sports and business collide, oh, baby, you know what happens? It's the KSDT Sports Business Report. All right, we love it. Little KSDT. We were there last Friday. Great people, of course. They can help you in so many different ways, not just your taxes, but all kinds of ways, from retirements to wills to buying businesses. They can help in so many ways to help you assess some of the investments that you're making to make sure you're making the right investments. So, business and sports colliding. eBay is getting into the NFTs. With the assist from hockey legend Wayne Gretzky. We just talked a little hockey with George. Well, the company announced Monday it's launching 13 limited edition digital collectibles in partnership with Web3 platform. One of each of them contains a 3D animated rendering of Gretzky making one of his signature moves on the ice. The NFTs are a type of digital asset created to track ownership of a virtual item using blockchain technology. Such unique items could be artwork or sports trading cards. Each NFT is unique and can't be replicated and accrues in value independently, stored in digital wallets as collectible items. 40 years ago, I was grateful to be on one of the covers of Sports Illustrated. It was a monumental moment in my life, Gretzky said. I'm honored to bring this collectible experience to my hockey fans who have followed my career for decades. There are 142 million eBay buyers worldwide. It's the second largest player through a distant second to Amazon in e-commerce. Electronic and accessories is the company's most popular category, which appeals to younger consumers. And when you talk about this, the company is launching 13 limited edition digital collectibles in partnership with the Web3. Throughout the remainder of the year, one of the plans is to drop an additional NFT series in partnership with eBay, featuring some of the most iconic athletes on Sports Illustrated covers, priced for everyday fans starting at $10 each. So there you go. You want to get a Wayne Gretzky NFT? You will get an opportunity to get that over at eBay. Pretty cool stuff. That, of course, is our KSDT Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, in a little music talk, I got one more thing I want to. Before that, I want to get a little music talk here. Kurt Cobain, we talked about this. His famed guitar finally went on auction, and it's got a new owner, and it ended up going for 7 figures as expected. It's a 69 Fender Mustang. It's in Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit music video. It was also used during the recording sessions for the band's Nevermind and In Utero albums. It went for $4.5 million. I mean, it's an iconic guitar. If you've got the money, you go for it. Kurt's old guitar was auctioned off yesterday to the Jim Irsay collection. Yeah, the Colts owner. And it ended up going higher than the estimated bid of $600K. $4.5 million. It's pretty amazing, man. Not surprised that it would go like that. Okay. I mean, it's something that you would kind of expect. The other thing on this date in rock and roll history and music history, in 1970, on this date, Peter Green quit Fleetwood Mac. The fame and fortune that came with the band's success and the time he invested in it led to Peter's mental decline and his decision to leave. So it's one of those things, right, that people have been dealing with the mental issues for so long. And for so long, you were kind of forced to keep it quiet, or you were looked at as a weirdo and those kind of things. The good thing is now people are more open and we're allowed to let them talk and talk about their issues and their struggles. None of us are perfect. We're all going to struggle with something in life. You know what I mean? And I've never had depression be a problem. Obviously, I've been depressed. We all have been depressed at one moment or another, but it goes right. It goes away. There are some people that don't know how to allow it to go away and move on, and that becomes a problem for them. James Hetfield from Metallica. I mean, the other night in the middle of a concert, he opened his heart up to people about how much he was feeling insecure. Think about this. James Hetfield feeling insecure. A guy that writes some of the most iconic metal songs of all time, who plays and leads one of the most iconic metal bands of all time, fills up stadiums, not arenas, not concert halls, not amphitheaters, okay? Not clubs. They can fill up all of those. No. Metallica is one of the few stadium touring bands in the world. Okay? I mean, that's a gift, baby. You don't need 2-3 other bands to fill a stadium. No. Metallica can go right to Hard Rock and pack it in for 2 nights in a row if they felt like it. That guy's feeling like he is not confident, like he is uncomfortable. And he opens up to everybody in that stadium. And people just embraced him. And his bandmates all came and surrounded him and hugged him. You know what I mean? In that moment. And it's good because we hear so many people taking their damn lives because we won't listen, because we won't support, because we won't be understanding. And that's disturbing. You know what I mean? Just because you've never been, depressed, and neither have I, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean people don't actually go through it every single day, and we've got to be understanding of that. There are things that you and I never experience, or we find a way to rise above it. Sometimes people have tragedies in their lives, and they don't know how to overcome the loss or whatever. Some of us can compartmentalize, and you learn to deal with the tragedy as much as it hurts you and pains you every day, but you got to learn to live with it. You know what I mean? And it's just hard for some people to do some of the things that you and I may be able to do on a daily basis. And we look at it like, oh, hey, we have to do this. It's life. For others, it's a struggle. And whether it's Peter Green or whether it's James Hetfield, or it's your friend or your family member, please take the time to listen to them. Please take the time to have some understanding. In 88 on this date, Van Halen's album OU812 was released. In 74 on this date, David Bowie put out his 8th studio album, Diamond Dogs. In 75, Earth, Wind & Fire, I did not know this until I read this today. Earth, Wind & Fire had their first and only #1 song with Shining Star, top in the charts. I was like, you mean Reasons didn't? You mean September? Like, what? That's the Way of the World? What? Earth, Wind & Fire only had one #1 hit, and it was Shining Star? Oh, wait a minute. I can think of Let's Groove Tonight. I can think of a boatload of songs that they probably should have got a #1. They didn't go to #1. That's what I said to myself. Because I'm just reeling off song after song after song. I'm like, how in the hell did Reasons not get to #1? So, did not know that they only had one #1, and that was Shining Star. Wow. That blew me away. That's a stat that blew me. I would have never guessed. You would have told me, hey, how many #1 hits do you think Earth, Wind & Fire had? I would have said, I don't know, bro, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, dude, it's Earth, Wind & Fire. Like, their songs are super iconic. Nope. 1. They are iconic, by the way, but I don't know how they didn't get more of them get to #1. That's kind of weird. In 05 on this date, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne put their Beverly Hills house featured in their hit reality series, The Osbournes, up for sale. Those are some of the things that happen in rock history on May 24th. Bruce Springsteen, by the way, the boss, has announced some touring dates for this year. The sad part is It's in Europe, man. Although I'm thinking, I love the boss. And if I had a little extra cash, go see the boss on May 13th in Paris. That would be pretty cool. I would like that. May 21st, you can see him in Rome. May 25th, you can see him in Amsterdam. He's going to be in Dublin, Ferrara, Italia, Landgraaf, Netherlands, Zurich, Switzerland, Dusseldorf, Germany, Gothenburg, Sweden twice, Oslo, Norway. Man, I saw this whole special on Norway. Man, they've got it going on over there, bro. They really know how to run a country. Holy crap. They have a savings account it's so deep into the billions. I mean, it's just so impressive the way they have run their country. Copenhagen, Denmark, Hamburg, Vienna, Australia, Munich, Germany, Monza, Italia. So if we have any listeners that are watching or downloading from those areas, get ready, baby. The boss is coming your way. I like it. I want to talk about something. I mentioned it a little bit with Cam, and we talk about this all the time. And look, I'm not into about making excuses for people or anybody. I'm about facts and what I see, and that's my opinion, and that's the way I call it. And I'm an enormous to a believer, and I don't make any excuses for the kid. I just call it like I see it, and I see the crap that's been around him, and it's hard to succeed. And I've talked about this in the past, how even the great ones, whether you're Marino or anyone, you have to have the offense built around you. And Shula failed to build it around Marino. He never gave Marino the right side of the line, never gave Marino running game, never gave Marino defense. When Jimmy Johnson got here, the defense started to get better, but he took away everything on offense. So it was kind of ass backwards there. And I see this story with Russell Wilson, that they're building the offense around him. And I just want to remind you, because I see not a lot, but some dense Dolphin fans. Oh, well, Tua's got to have everything perfect around. No, dude. Every quarterback's got to have everything around them, or if not, they're not going to succeed. And so if you want your quarterback to be, surviving and having success, well, then don't treat him like Andrew Luck. Give him a running game and an offensive line so he doesn't get pounded on and forced to retire. If you want Marino to succeed, well, give him a defense. Give him a running game, right? Pat Mahomes hasn't won a Super Bowl since, right? Why? Because he doesn't have the team around him. Defense hasn't been good. A couple of years ago, the offensive line was dog shit. He got killed, and that's Pat Mahomes. Seahawks had a dynasty going. They ended up with one title. Bad coaching in one, and they couldn't keep it going after that. That's your job. It's not the quarterback's fault. And so for those of you, because when I watch this article and how they're building around Russell Wilson and how they talk about how in Seattle they never really did, and maybe that's why you end up with one title. And so all of a sudden you wanted to have that power running game. And by the way, when push came to shove, you didn't use the power running game at 1 yard line with Marshawn Lynch. Right. But anyway, so Broncos are trying to build everything around his strengths. That's exactly what they're doing here in Miami, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to figure out what your quarterback can and can't do. And then you're supposed to try to help him excel in the places that he can't. Tom Brady's not going to win the game running, right? Okay. So let's not put him in that position. Let's give him a clean pocket so he can kill people. That's exactly what they do. With Lamar Jackson, you don't make him drop back and throw the ball 40 times because you're dead in the water because he's a mediocre passer. So you have him running the ball and he'll pass off of that run. That's how he's effective. And you better have a strong running game around him. That's how you will help him. Ryan Tannehill. You know he's not a passer, right? So let's build the offense around Derrick Henry to assist the quarterback, because this quarterback cannot carry us, but this offense is the way it's going to carry us. Every quarterback, you got to build around their strengths and hide their weaknesses. That's just the way it is. With Bob Greasy, you weren't going to allow him to throw the ball 40 to 50 times. That's not his game. Make sure you had the running game in the offensive line. He can use the play action and do everything else because he was an incredibly smart quarterback and accurate quarterback. That's what you do. That's how you won. You build accordingly to what you have. That's what the Broncos are doing with Russell Wilson. That's what Jimmy Johnson failed to do with Dan Marino. That's what Don Shula failed to do with Dan Marino. That's what Brian Flores failed to do around Tua. That's why Mike McDaniel is actually doing it the right way. That's why the Denver Broncos are doing it the right way. It's not an insult. It's not a weakness. It's not a negative that you're trying to build around your quarterback. It's actually intelligence. And for those of you that look at it in any other way that isn't intelligent, you lack the intelligence. You don't understand what the hell is going on with the game. All right. Let's see. Polly King says, Big O, guy with 2 first names got me in trouble. I decided to not work. I make dialysis for people. I got in trouble because I wanted to watch the Heat live instead of working. Shame on him. Exactly. Now people are dying because you wanted to watch a damn game. What's wrong with you, Polly King? Bam Adebayo was awful last game. That I would have traded him for Zara Wade. Zara Wade. Is that like Wade? Is that Wade's kid? Is that what you're talking about? You guys. Bam Adebayo is like human cryptocurrency. Well, he certainly isn't Bitcoin or Ethereum, that's for sure. He's Luna. That's what he is right now. So there you go. All right, we are out of here. We thank Cameron Wolf. We thank Manny Navarro, Anthony Chang, George Richards. Omar Kelly is going to join us tomorrow on the program, okay? So he will be, normally it's Tuesdays and Fridays for him, but he had player availability right at the time that he was scheduled to join us. And all throughout right now, they're still meeting with him. So he's going to join us tomorrow, I believe around 11:30, I think it is. So we'll have Inside the Paint tomorrow from 9 to 10 a.m. Ian Rappaport at 10:10. Matt Verdon will be the following week when we start in June. And then Omar Kelly will join us around 11:30 also here on the program. Don't forget EJD, a proud sponsor of our program. Give them a ring if you're looking for custom home construction, folks. Not a handyman. Custom home construction. You want to build an entire second floor. You want to add an addition to your home. You want to modernize that kitchen, redo the man cave, redo the entire backyard. You want to put out a whole tiki hut and kitchen and barbecue and all that. They can do all of that for you. 305-433-4843, fully insured and licensed. I stress it every time. Do not bring anyone working in your home that is not licensed or insured. You are opening yourself up to a lawsuit. Okay? 305-433-4843. They're fully insured, custom home construction. Go to the website, ejdconstruction.com, and tell them that Big O sent you. 305-433-4843. And again, folks, please subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Big O Show Cuts. Okay, go find it. Big O Show Cuts. Please subscribe. We need to hit 1,000 quickly on that. So please help us out. We've got over 12,500 right here on our channel. So all we're asking for is for you folks to go on over and just like it. You're going to see stuff there that will not be on our regular channel. Sean will be putting all kinds of other things there and experimenting with all kinds of other things. So check it out. Big O Show Cuts. You can check that out. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Y'all be good. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Love you all.